Ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing today? Welcome to your match reaction here on Casually FC for Djurgården 1, Chelsea 4 in the first of two legs in the UCL, in the UEFA Conference League tournament. And a good result for Chelsea. I think that means Chelsea have 1 foot into the final. Let's not, rest on our laurels. We saw what happened against Legia Warsaw, and we'll discuss what we potentially think will happen in the next game. But today was not only a game that Chelsea needed to win, obviously, as well as compete in the tournament, but in the Premier League, Nottingham Forest played their game in hand and lost to Brentford, putting them in 6th place, us in 5th place in a Champions League spot. And a tough matchup coming up as well that we'll probably talk at the end of the stream. But ladies and gentlemen, big up to every single one of you. If you are new here, welcome to the channel. I'm accompanied by the panel of Real Chicken Nugget Chris, CP, Scott, and the Bridge Nation, or as he looks like right now, the Somalian Chris Angel, and myself, Marsha DBDX, as well, Casually FC, so on and so forth.
I want it to be known. Sorry, he's calling me the Somalian Chris Angel. He calls me. You see, again, I don't want to say too much, but listen, they don't want to respect the Bridge Nation. That's what I'm gonna say.
All right. Well,
all I gotta say is, why does the Bridge Nation look like every emo kid when they're 12 years old?
Well, listen, man. The reason why I look like that is because listen, man. I embrace my darkness. You know what I mean? To my fellow emo guys, and myself. Shout out to Tumblr. Shout out to the good old days and Reddit.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Listen, man. You gotta embrace the darkness, man. You gotta embrace the darkness. It's like
there's a better reference that I can come up with, but I gotta do my research. But anyways, ladies and gents, also God, Bridge Nation.
Yeah, exactly.
Ladies and gents, if you haven't done so already, smash up the like. I know it seems like it's been a long time since our last stream, I feel like it has been quite a while. Just been busy with life. There will be more regular streams in the summer, like I promised, and sooner or later as well. Let's just get through this season, and then we'll be back to crunch time here on Casually FC and more regular streams as well. But if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. If you are new here, if you already are a frequent watcher of the streams, subscribe. Why not? It helps us out with our 5K goal and also helps out with the YouTube algorithm. What else helps is smashing up that like button. It's free to do, it's effortless, and yeah, it doesn't cost you a thing. So smash up the like button. It helps us with the YouTube algorithm as well, recommending the channel to other more other interested parties who may be interested in some other YouTube Chelsea content that maybe aren't as negative or super positive, maybe have a balanced take, which we try to have on here. But ladies and gents, as per usual, when it comes to these match reviews, we are going to do a quick summary of the match and then get into the analysis, as some of you may call it, of the game. I think there were some good performances we could talk about, and some players that, I'll be honest with you guys, my opinions are starting to change on certain players, which we will discuss. I knew CP was going to say something.
Indeed.
I knew CP was going to say something.
I'm interested to see who these people are.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a few of you that are interested. But to start things off, pretty strong lineup, which was expected. You had a Reece James starting, an Nkunku who was dropped completely from the lineup, not even on the bench.
Was injured.
He's injured. Oh, I didn't even know that. So an injured Nkunku who was not available. Tariq George took his spot. KDH started again with an Enzo Fernandez playing as a 10. No Cole Palmer to start the game off. And an Achin Pong and Tariq George.
Who's that guy? Who's that guy?
I'll tell you guys about who that guy is shortly. But a strong performance from Chelsea overall. I don't think we struggled too much. I think there was a lapse in concentration which caused the goal when I get to that. But strong performance overall. Strong performance overall, as well as dominant performance. Didn't struggle too much against this team. We shouldn't be struggling too much against this team, and we did show it. Overall, creating more of the chances, controlling the game in the midfield, in the attacking third, creating chances, and eventually Jadon Sancho again getting another chance. Has time on the ball, places the shot. It takes a deflection from a Djurgården defender on the way in, but it was on target regardless. So the goal, according to Google, the goal did count towards Jadon Sancho's GNA tally. So a goal in the 12th minute for Jadon Sancho, which is great for him. Again, Chelsea pressuring and causing problems to Djurgården, and Enzo Fernandez creating multiple chances. Enzo, I believe, was the one that created the chances for Jadon Sancho. But then he created another chance for Anani Madueke, who, brilliant goal from him. It went across the attack. Enzo to Nani on the right-hand side. Nani boots it low and driven, and in the 43rd minute, Chelsea are up 2-0. We go into the second half, and we made multiple changes. Reece came off. Reece came off. Caicedo came on. Palmer came on. Enzo came off. I think Tariq didn't come off until later. Who else came off? Nani came off.
It was Nani. It was Cucurella. It was Nani, Cucurella, Enzo, and James.
Ancho.
Yeah. Chalobah came on as well. Moises Caicedo came on.
Cucurella was the one that came off.
Yeah. Cucurella did come off as well. Changed the side, rotated it. Don't think it was really necessary, but we'll discuss that. Again, we continued the same performance that we had in the first half. And it didn't take long for Nicholas Jackson to once again get on the scoreboard. Maybe a turn for the best for Nicholas Jackson. We'll discuss that. But Nicholas Jackson with a great goal in the 59th minute, and shortly after that, 6 minutes later, a brilliant goal from Nicholas Jackson. Probably the best goal of the game. Actually, easily the best goal of the game. On his weak foot. Top right corner, keeper couldn't save it, and we are up 4-0. And unfortunately, a lapse of concentration from the back post, letting their left winger kind of get deep in our defensive end, getting across that finds the head of Mulugeta. I think that's the way you pronounce that player's name. I'm not gonna try again, but
let's call him Isak, bro.
Isak, yeah. Djurgården's Isak ends up getting Djurgården on the scoreboard. So essentially, we go with a 3-goal gap into the second leg. We bring it to Stamford Bridge already with the advantage and essentially 1 foot into the final. And on other more positive news as well, Nottingham Forest dropped points, and like I said, Chelsea are in a Champions League spot right now. Though they have Chelsea are at the wheel. They have full control of what's going to happen going forward. And yeah, I spelled comfortable wrong, so I'm gonna fix that. Thank you, Vic. I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I think I spoke enough. We'll start with we'll start with Curry. I feel like we never start with Curry. So Curry, go ahead, give us your analysis in the game.
It's not going to be a lot because I'll be honest, I joined after the 60th minute because of work.
Okay, never mind. We'll go to Scott then.
Not Papa Charles, not Papa Charles, man.
I'll just keep a quick intro.
Yeah, keep it quick.
Ahmed, where are you this Sunday?
Yeah,
Ahmed, where are you this Sunday?
What? Listen, this Sunday, I'm on the watch the game. But listen, count on me on one thing. Casually, like when 10 p.m. Casually FC, I would have watched the game. You know what I mean? I'll be here at 10 p.m. Watch the game.
How can I watch the game when we started the how can I watch the entire 60 minutes? I left out.
No.
I'm gonna watch the game.
Okay.
Anyways, good goals by Jackson. And weird as shit goal for the third one. I'll be honest. Great goal for the fourth one. Yeah, Yogi Bear is not that guy, as Ahmed has said, and it's been proven correct. Josh had a good performance. And yeah, man, easy win. So I hope Florentina win against Real Betis in the second round of this, and then we can play them in the final.
What was the
and
result
just want to say it's 2-1. And just
okay.
And just want to say, I said this behind the scenes too. If anyone hypes up Nico Williams again, you all need to shut the fuck up. You all need to shut the fuck up, because we saw how Nico Williams during this
watching the ops more than he's watching us. Crazy, man.
No, I wasn't even watching the ops. I literally heard from Flawless and fraud. This guy, man. Anyways, yeah, never.
I don't think today's even Labor Day. What are you talking
It
about?
is in India. It is.
Ah, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I didn't know that too until at work because of my team. Anyways, so never talk to me about Nico Williams for 60 million and on 400k a week ever in your life when he scores 5 goals the most.
Yeah.
If you man hate Neto, if you men are crying about Neto, you will cry tears of horror every day when you're paying 400k for a guy who scores 5 goals, and that's the best goal return in the league in his entire freaking life. So never again bring up Nico Williams because of some Euro hype.
Scott, your analysis in the game, man.
I thought it was amazing. Like that's the best game we've played, definitely since the knockout started, like 100%.
You're talking in the Conference League is the best game we've played.
Yeah, in the Conference League, obviously.
Okay, just making sure.
that might be the best performance we've had in the Conference League, full stop.
Stop praising Marshall, man. He's not praising Marshall, man.
Okay. Yeah, no, like it was a great performance. I think everyone performed like well. Don't really have any complaints. I thought Maresca, the subs were made perfectly. Like I didn't particularly want certain players starting, like Enzo and that, but I kind of understood it. And at the end of the day, he took them off at the right time, which is good. Jackson came on, did his thing. Like the 2 goals are great, especially to be fair, both goals. Like that first goal, I thought originally it was a mistake from either the keeper or the what's it called, the defender. But no, he gets a touch on that. That's why the
it was actually quality.
He gets a touch on that. He ball rolls it like past the keeper. So yeah, he was good when he came on. Palmer was Palmer, but like it is what it is.
Can only have so many conversations about Palmer without
exactly. Like he got the assist, I think, for the Jackson goal.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
wasn't a great assist, but yeah,
he still got it.
But then he had that chance where he's through on goal, takes a poor touch, takes it away from goal, and then gets tackled. Is what it is. But yeah, like I really don't have any complaints. Like even the players that didn't really like shine, so like KDH was solid, didn't really do anything wrong. Was just
we got to talk about KDH.
We really don't. Like, I'll be honest.
No,
If he's one of those
I
people
need to.
Cooked today.
I
He's
need to
not
have a
bad.
conversation about KDH. I think today, I don't think it was just solid. I think it was pretty sensational. I think he did a great job of driving the attack multiple times today. Like he was just forward thinking. And listen, like I know I've given KDH a lot of criticism on the channel, and I know I've always been underwhelmed by his performances. But now that I'm seeing him, and even in this position, by the way, like we have seen him play in this position early in the season, but now it seems like he's been more comfortable. He kind of has felt out how the team plays and the runs they're making, and he's making. The one thing that I thought was really positive about KDH is he's always making progressive passes. Like multiple times, Palmer was open, he was giving the ball to Palmer. If Jackson was open, he was threading the ball to Jackson, so on and so forth. Like he was being kind of a good, like a second creative 10 on that pitch when Enzo wasn't being the creative 10, or in the second half when Palmer wasn't creating the chances, he was creating the chances. I think, and the drives he was making and the dribbles he was winning, like he played really well. I think last time we talked about him, we said it was his best performance. I think he's topped that, and this is another one of his really good performances. I think this is a better performance than the last one.
I don't know. I think he's had better performances. I think he was good, but he's been mostly good for like most of this tournament. I think he started quite poorly, but then he had that Ghent game, and I think since then he's been pretty good.
I always thought he was average or like a passenger, but today you could tell he really affected the game. All right,
He's
maybe,
still
maybe I'm overdoing it, guys. You're right.
I think the thing that maybe I find hard with KDH is like ultimately, because I know you said
the bar was on the floor.
No, not necessarily that. I know you said I assume he's probably one of the guys you were talking about that like you've changed your opinion on.
Yeah. I'm getting there. I'm not having fully done it, but I'm getting there.
I understand, but also at the same time, it's like doesn't really mean anything because come the summer he shouldn't be here anyway. It's like how good can he really play, but like. The kid just doesn't really mean much, is all. That maybe that's like part of my thinking behind it. But yeah, like he was still good today. I'm not saying he wasn't, but yeah, like I just thought it was all around good team performance, and this is the type of performances you should be putting in against these teams. This is the type of performance you should have put in for 90 minutes versus Legia Warsaw in the first leg. Like good on you for turning it around in the second half, but that first 45 minutes was tough to watch. Then you didn't perform in the second leg. This is the type of performance we should have seen against Copenhagen at least once. Like you can have one bad tie, like we've had that against Copenhagen, we had that against Servette, kind of. We had that against Legia, and we had that against Servette. We had 2 against Copenhagen. Yeah, like you've got the return leg should be comfortable. You can play most of the youth players, Amugu. You can play Samuel Smith. You can play Shimmer.
We'll probably still play 1 or 2 starters though.
He probably will because he's an idiot, but like he shouldn't. Yeah, like these things. Like
I played that Welsh kid as well. Okay, he looked like he wanted to go to the Welsh.
I mean GCSE time, man. So what do you think about GCSE, please?
I don't know where he plays. Does he play like 6 or
he's
something?
He's number 10.
Oh, he's number 10. Yeah, play him as 10.
Yeah, but apparently Mariska said he needs to focus on his GCSEs. So
he is 16.
Yeah, he's 16.
Yeah, so he needs to focus on GCSEs.
Oh, by the way, I watched the game slightly yesterday, and I didn't realize that the league was over. But congrats to the women's for clinching the league and winning the league. So big up to the Chelsea women for dominating the league.
No,
yeah, they barely scraped it against United, but hey.
No, I think Arsenal's second one,
No, I mean the game yesterday.
Oh, right, sorry.
Yeah, they were up against United. So big up to them. But I'm sorry, I interrupted someone. I think I interrupted someone.
I don't think you did.
I think Scott's about to finish his points.
No, I pretty much finished. Like I said, I thought it was a good result. I genuinely don't have any complaints at all. Yeah. Like I just think it was a good result, and like we just need to carry it on going forward.
Yeah, no, these really are the results that I'm expecting, and not even just the results. I'm expecting the performances, right? Like against Legia Warsaw, against Copenhagen, I kind of just settled for the results because it is the end of the season. The players start getting leggy and all this and that. You start seeing a dip in form for a lot of teams, not just Chelsea. And so at the end of the day, all that matters is the results. But these last 3 games, the performances have been improving. I wouldn't even see the last 3 games, even the last 5 games, really. The performances have been improving.
We won 3 in a row now, I think.
This is a 3rd win in a row in all competitions. We're undefeated in the last 6 or 7 matches.
Really?
I believe so. Our last defeat was against Arsenal.
Yeah.
And even before that, our last defeat was some time
didn't we
ago.
lose to Legia? But I mean, it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry. In the league, when I said that, I was referring to the league.
Okay, yeah.
But like the record has been pretty favorable, sorta, kinda. I do think that there are some results there that should have gone our way. To make this easier for us, because we are still in that Champions League race, which right now we are in control of our own destiny, but you know what's in front of us is going to be very difficult to completely control. But I mean, regardless, the results have been there, and that's kind of what's giving me optimism, is that things have been improving again. The results have been not just resulting, but the performances have been accompanying those results. So hopefully things go well against Liverpool. We'll see. This was a good game as well to give confidence to Nicholas Jackson. I'll go to you, Ahmed. Do you think that Nicholas Jackson is starting to turn it around? Is this a sign of confidence to come? I mean, he did get a weak foot goal today. He also dribbled past his man and got a goal that way as well today. It's some good signs there. I don't know what you think.
It's interesting. He did ask me for a review of the game. Just,
You can give me a full review of the game if you want to.
If you do,
no, you never.
do you mind speaking into the microphone, please?
That usually helps a lot.
I am speaking into the
That's a new
microphone.
concept.
You know
That's a new
what? Just
concept,
for you,
maybe
Scott.
That's new
I've
tactic.
got a special one. How do I sound now? How do I sound now?
The exact same.
What?
Yeah. Thank you. You know what I mean? So listen. I'm at full game just for you, but listen, listen. In terms of the game itself, from a Chelsea perspective, listen, I'm here for performances at this point. I just need to get results now, if that makes sense. Sorry, no, so I need to get results, not performances. I need the results,
I was gonna say.
So wrong way around. I'm just here for the results. We got a result we needed to end the time, which is a big positive for us. I think the bonuses wise. We got Jackson now scoring 2 goals. I think the second one was definitely from the confidence of scoring the first goal as well. So there is that too as well. In terms of Jackson coming back, again, we'll have to see against Liverpool. If his performance improves from the last 2, then yes, we can probably see there's a positive trajectory going on for Jackson himself, right? So that's what we probably have to see at the end of the match. I think if I'm being a bit objective and honest in that regard. But listen, there is a positive thing that he scored 2 goals. He scored a previous 1 goal, obviously, against Everton as well. So listen, hopefully that continues and he could become our main guy. So listen, I think for me, at the end of the day, from a Chelsea perspective, you can only have positive thoughts right now, right? In terms of we've won. We've basically got ourselves into the final. We're currently in 5th place. We've kind of put everything is essentially in our hands now. In terms of in terms of what we can do from a UCL perspective and then a Conference League perspective. So it's now about being serious, making sure you have testicles and making sure you finish the job.
I hear it.
Go ahead, Chris. What are your thoughts, man? Nicholas Jackson, the performances are getting better.
I agree with what Ahmed said. I agree with the confidence. Like that second goal with his weak foot, like he did the ball roll over and then he just smashed him with his left foot and top right. Like that beats a lot of keepers in general. For sure. Like that goal anyway. Like I felt like who was the last game we played? It was Everton, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Where he got that goal against Everton, he seemed relieved in a way. He got his goal again, and he's just came back from injury. He's had 3 games since injury. Was it 4?
When did he start?
I swear this is 3 and 3. So I'm assuming
he came back for Brentford, I believe, or Ipswich.
Oh no, yeah. Why did they say 3 and 3 now? I don't get it. Discovery said 3 and 3. I got a bit confused. Why did they said that then? They throw me off then with that then. But yeah, no, like it's great to see Jackson scoring because we're gonna really need it. I'll be honest. Like Jackson, when he's in good form, he you know, he can get like behind Van Dijk and Kanate. Like he can bully them pretty good as well. And if he gets his shooting boots on it, it could be a different story on Sunday as well. So yeah, it's great to see Jackson getting his goal because he was great today. Like he definitely like boosted Chelsea like to get basically to the final and maybe play weaker team for the semi-final in the next game because we really shouldn't need to play a strong lineup in the second.
I agree.
Second leg, yeah.
I really agree because the last thing I want is another game where like. I'll get on Nani. I think he had a great game, but there were moments where I was kind of getting a little frustrated with him, which this happens with Nani, where sometimes you just don't take the opposition too seriously, and you get a little confident on yourself, which it's fine. But the last thing I want is for this next tie to be a repeat of Legia Warsaw, where we're half checked out. 1 foot out the door, thinking about the final already and not focusing on the game in hand, So with that being said, I mean, I personally would like it if Maresca were to play more of the youth signings, like again, the Raksakis of the world, the Shimieka, so on and so forth. Even if Nkunku is fit by then, just play Nkunku. Who cares? Like, I don't.
Oh, just for overall, damn, that's actually not bad.
Yeah. Overall, since he came to Chelsea, this is his GNA.
I mean, last season I thought he was alright. Like, it's just this season, he had a really good start, right? He was killing it. He was like clinical. He was scoring, and something happened. I don't know if he just lost confidence or he just didn't know how to score. I don't know what it was with it, but like, yeah, he just lost it. Late now, like the last 3 games or so, 2 games especially, he's getting his goals again. So hopefully he can push it on to the last 3 games in the Premier League or so because. We can't rely on Cole Palmer. I don't see it now like he scores it now.
Sorry, what?
Cole Palmer. We just can't rely on Cole Palmer to get a goal now. It's just even if it's a penalty, I don't know if I have Cole Palmer taking a penalty at this point as well. I have someone else like, pardon?
I wouldn't.
No, yeah, it just I feel like he could just miss it again. I'm
gonna be so honest with you guys.
Yeah.
There is a part of me, just talking on Cole Palmer, there's a part of me that wouldn't play him for the rest of the Conference League.
Really? You're not the only one, because I was on Discord, which, by the way, ladies and gents, if you haven't done so already, do join the Discord. We do have discussions there and watch-alongs. But I was saying on the Discord, I wouldn't be opposed, because Reece only played 45 minutes today, I wouldn't be opposed to going into Liverpool with Enzo in the 10, Lavia, Caicedo in the double pivot, and Reece back at right back.
Definitely.
Like, that's a pretty strong lineup. And with the way we played against Everton, where it almost seemed like the players are playing around Cole, it might be more effective than actually having Cole in there. But what does that do for his confidence at the same time? Like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
He's not gaining on field because, like, that, where he took that bad touch, he moved it to the right and he had a chance on goal. I think last season Cole Palmer did even take it on his right foot and just, like, try to shoot. Even first half of the season. He just didn't want to shoot.
He's left-footed, isn't he? Right?
Yeah, he's left-footed, but like last season he'd even attempt to shoot with his right foot and score as well. So I just think he's lost his confidence, either on the field, off the field. It don't matter. Like I feel like he's just off it now. Hopefully, obviously, 100%. Next season he gets back onto it because like it'd be a damn shame if he actually falls off completely. But I don't want to think about that yet because I feel like players do go through these moments as well. Like second half of the season, he's just completely gone off it. But yeah. I would do what you said. I play Enzo Fernandez as a 10 because he looked good today as well. He was creating a few good chances there. He created 2 good chances to Sancho, especially. I remember the first one he was the second one. The first one he did, I think Sancho did score it. Then the second one he did also create, but Sancho didn't score that one. But like, yeah, he played really well. Pardon?
You talking about Palmer?
No. I was talking about Enzo.
Enzo.
Yeah. Palmer didn't really create anything except for that one chance for Jackson. A bit lucky at the time.
Enzo was doing a good job of keeping the place ticking and KDH as well. By the way, like I think both of them have been doing.
Can we be honest though? Can we be a little bit honest about Enzo, man? You know, there was a few times.
You're smiling when you say this. So you're not being honest.
Right. If we want to be honest about Enzo, then we get you off the panel. That's how we be honest about Enzo.
I'm curious.
This is nasty work because you didn't even hear what I said. At least let me speak before you let me make a point.
Let me speak.
No, there was like 1 or 2 times here where I feel like listen, there was 1 or 2 times where he thought he could dummy them, right? Because he tried to do a fake shot in one of the ones that, if I remember, right, and like it didn't work out. And he tried that like 1 or 2 times, and I was like, no need to do it. Just keep it simple. You're doing good as you are. No need to add the fake shot thing or the fake pass thing because it's not working. They're not buying. That's all it is. That's not even like me saying anything crazy. He did that twice in like the first half, and I kind of laughed because I was like, come on, I know what you're trying to do.
How much you notice him do that? I didn't really notice him do that. Only once.
It only happened twice.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it once, but
Scott, what do you think of that formation I propose?
I'm fine with that for the Conference League. I still think, like, for the league,
Not against Liverpool.
No, I think for the league he needs to play. Because at the end of the day, it is still Palmer. But for the Conference League, like, I'm not playing him. Like, because at the end of the day, nothing's working. This like playing him into form isn't working. Just drop him. Yeah. Just take him out of the spotlight for a game.
Dropping him might be the biggest positive that you can do for him for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
If you drop him for the rest of the season, realistically speaking, how do you make that work? Actually, I'm thinking about how you make this work. You have if you do, obviously, you bring in James, he becomes a part of your back four essentially. Kukurea is obviously going to be an inverter. You have Caicedo, and then you have Lavia. No. You have Reece James as your right back. Caicedo Lavia makes your 2. Enzo's your 10 in this case. Or if you want to play a natural 4-3-3, where you just have Lavia there, then you have actually box-to-box Caicedo, and then you have box-to-box Enzo, right? And then you just play the remaining 3 as it is. Does that not make sense?
He did assist with Cheddar, but the problem is like in games, specifically in games like Liverpool, right? We always say this, right? Palmer had a moment where he could have potentially scored. Palmer of last season scores that moment where he takes that touch and then it takes him away from the opportunity that was created for him. If he does that against Liverpool, that could be the fine margin between us actually winning the game or drawing the game and us losing the game. And it's just like, do you put that on him? Do you then also, because that's the thing, like Palmer will get himself in good positions. He'll make good passes. Like he was making good passes today. That nothing really came of them. But at the same time, and I disagree with this. I think it's been just fine. But at the same time, it's like when you're so low on confidence, you're not scoring, and you find yourself in a scoring position. We need you to score. If Enzo's in that position, I feel more confident Enzo will try to take a shot at least and probably score. With Palmer, I don't think he even does take the shot, or he goes wide.
And the thing is, like, I said it before when we were backstage. After the game today, Enzo is 5 GNA behind Palmer on the season, by the way.
Yeah.
This is an Enzo Fernandez. That's in all comps. This is an Enzo Fernandez that spent, 4 months being absolutely shit.
Yeah.
Was it 4 months?
Bro, the start of the season.
Yeah.
I don't know when it was.
December, pretty much.
Yeah, I can't remember when he turned it around, but it was like the first 4 months he was shit.
He turned it around after United.
He had a couple.
I thought he turned it around when he
got benched.
Was it
there was a couple good games. I can't remember when, like what games specifically. I remember there was a couple of good games. He spent most of like the first bit of the season. Shit.
Yeah. His last 3 games, he's created chances and gotten
assists.
That's
still crazy. Like 18 GNA from a guy who plays as a 6 basically.
19.
Season. 19, yeah.
He's got 13 assists in all comps.
Yeah. Enzo Fernandez has 18 GNA this season. It might be 19 if maybe this post was made after the fact or before the fact.
Yeah, it's made up 316.
It was before.
Okay, so 19 GNA this season. This is a new personal best for him in a club season. And then if we go back to the previous tweet I have here, Enzo Fernandez has provided more assists than any other Chelsea player across all competitions this season, 12, and has 4 assists in his last 3 games. And then Bruno Fernandes has 15 Bruno Fernandes 15 is the only Premier League midfielder with more assists across all comps this season than the Argentine. And I would argue that Bruno Fernandes, a lot of that is just failing, constant booting the ball and just hoping for the best. Whereas I feel that Enzo Fernandez is a lot more measured when it comes to his passing and his chance creation. I don't know if you agree, CP. Give me the sus.
Oh no,
Enzo was not good from the start, by the way.
Nothing wrong with him.
Enzo was not good from the start. He spent the entire first half of the season being shit. Sorry if that hurt you.
He wasn't good in the first half. No, he wasn't.
Sorry,
he wasn't good.
Who?
I remember being 4 months
Enzo,
long, but
Fernandez.
No. So I'm sorry. He turned shit around in October when we were joking. He left his wife. I'm sorry. What are we talking about? That was the joke. Oh, he left his wife. That was October. That wasn't the first half of the season.
It wasn't 5
That was
games.
the first 2 months.
I was contemplating even him being
We spent 2 months being shit.
yeah,
He got
Yeah,
benched.
well, he's but Scott, one guy's been shit for 2 months and been fine the rest of the season. The other guy has been shit for 4 months, and his name is Mason Mount Jr. right now, and Cole Palmer. Okay, no. What do you mean? Why can't I? He's
you're not wrong.
No, he's putting the exact same performances with the numbers that we criticized Mount for in his 3rd season. Did we not? When he won Player of the Year for us, when he had 10 assists and 10 goals in all comps.
I just remember it was after United.
Yeah, it was October, I remember. Yeah, because didn't we have this? Remember when Mason Mount's 3rd season, we were like, oh, there's GNA, but his performances are dog shit. That's exactly what Cole Palmer's doing.
But like
exactly.
It's also the thing with Enzo Fernandez that in the beginning of the season, I think there was an adjustment period with him, right? Because we saw against Man City, right? He was playing in the same 10 he's playing today, but now that he's more comfortable with the system, now that he's more familiar with it and more acute when it comes to, what to do in certain positions, whether to shoot, to pass, and the touches and stuff, he's becoming more comfortable with the output, with getting involved with the team. And
it was not an adjustment period. It was just bad. Like we need to like.
It is because he Scott, because he. No, it was an adjustment. It is an adjustment period. It is an adjustment period because man had a literal hernia or whatever shit it was. He got the surgery for after that thing. So it is an adjustment because he was injured for 6 months, playing week in, week out for Poch, being shit. Finally got the surgery, then headed off to Argentina without any rest. So yeah, it was an adjustment period. I would say it because man was literally playing through injury for 6 months.
Adjustment period for half the season and for most of the team, and most of the team managed to pick it up. The point here was that he spent the first couple months being shit. And
no, it was you can't. No, 2 months.
Yes,
not a couple months. August.
August. That's a couple.
That's 2.
August,
that's not a couple.
September.
A couple is more than 2.
No, a couple is
more
2.
Than 2 months.
Couple means 2.
No,
a couple is 2.
No, it's more than 2.
Come on.
No, it's not.
Hey,
that's
chat,
a movement, brother. Brother, do you know what a couple is just in general? A couple is 2 people.
Yes, 2 people.
A couple is 2, is in a couple of months is 2 months.
Anyways, go ahead. So he was bad for 2 months.
Yes, that was my point in all this, by the way. I was saying that he was bad for 2 months and he's still almost behind Palmer. I started this this whole point
bigging him up.
by bigging him up. And some of you managed to turn it around and talk at me having an agenda.
You know what, man? Listen,
hey, cool. Some of you are cooked, and some of you in the chat specifically are cooked, completely.
Listen, Scott, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it. If you're not going to do it, Scott, I'm going to do it. Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Is Enzo having his Mount season to the GA?
No, because he's actually performing well, so you can't say that. You can't say that. Now we're doing this bullshit now. He's performing well.
You can't harm it.
All right, I'm
hey, yo, man says to see you next Tuesday. Chris,
so fucking disrespectful. The youth nowadays, man. This fucking generation's cooked.
This isn't Lewis's show when you can say that shit.
Generation's cooked, bro. Ahmed, start a prank channel too while you're at it, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
This is his social experiment, man.
She's gonna get stabbed in the middle of London for playing a prank. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I should be getting stabbed in London. Yeah,
I didn't say you should be. You said you will be getting stabbed when you start a prank.
Oh, damn.
This man. I could say the American equivalent, but I'm a nice guy.
You're not a nice guy, but continue.
Involving guns.
No. Listen, but no. On a serious note, yeah, I think obviously there was a. I put that in the December section, the January section. I don't think Enzo was positive in that sort of sense. He wasn't playing to the best level he was playing as in that.
He was. No. You're talking about October. September was when he was bad.
No,
August, September, and halfway
August,
of
September.
October.
No. But that genuinely from the mid-December period, I'm talking about like as of recent.
In December, he was probably one of our only consistent. Well,
when
not
was the
even
Villa
December. He was one of our more consistent.
No. It was early December that he was. But again, I feel like much like with a lot of our players, yeah. Post Everton, right? Essentially, that game afterwards, right? Like he wasn't as effective as he had been. I think that's a fair comment.
But that's because the whole team wasn't effective. He was one of the few that was actually getting us stuff.
But
wait, I'll pull up the stats. Keep talking.
Because like the point I'm trying to make is that I think it is fair to say that he did drop a level initially during like the end of that mid-December to like January period. But I think from February onwards, he has been our most consistent player, in my personal opinion, at least from a DNA standpoint. That's what I'll probably say.
I disagree simply because like it's so. This is the thing with Enzo Fernandez that I feel like it's always unfair, the criticism he gets. I would say like the criticism at the beginning of the season is totally valid. I feel like he wasn't good. He was constantly losing the ball in possession in a possession-based team. Obviously, he was causing a lot of the turnovers. We were complaining earlier in the season how when Enzo is on the pitch, we turn into like a basketball. It becomes a basketball game. That very much like in the beginning of the season, we lost control of a lot of games because of Enzo Fernandez, right? Because he wasn't able to maintain possession. It was very frustrating to watch. And last season, he also was a culprit for that as well. But we remember the whole island thing and all that. But I think the one thing that never helps Enzo Fernandez, and to an extent, Reece suffered from this when he was playing right back, is that we don't have an out-and-out goal scorer. We don't have out-and-out attackers that are this season that have been consistent outside of Cole Palmer for the first 4 months of the season, and now he's been horrible for the remaining of the season, right? And I think in a player like Enzo Fernandez, when you look at the stats, when you look at the performances, he relies so much on the chances that he creates and something to come of those chances. And we just don't have the consistency in the attack to make the most out of it. If we had Enzo Fernandez in, let's say, for example, in Real Madrid, I guarantee you his stats are doubled, maybe even tripled what they are right now. Because of just how if Enzo Fernandez were to play in a Real Madrid side, okay, let me not say Real Madrid this
you're
season.
not wrong. No, you're not wrong because Mbappe has 31 goals in the league. So
he'd also be their primary creator, which he's not in our team, really. Also, like this creating chances thing, you say that, but somehow he's created the most chances, apparently. Yeah. It's the start of 2025, and yet there are 5 other midfielders ahead of him for big chances created. That means he wasn't creating a lot in the start of the season. Otherwise, he'd be top. He'd be close to
losing the ball a lot in the start.
No, that's cool. So he wasn't creating that much. That was the issue. The fact is, he was doing what he's been doing other games this season. He will have games, and he had this. I said this before. He had a game recently like this. He'll have games where he's doing nothing creatively, and he's a cone defensively. So he's offering you nothing. That was him most like the first 2, first 2-3 months. That's what he was. Then, like CP said, the whole thing with whether it's a coincidence or not, the whole thing with his partner happened, and then he turned it around. And since then, he's been performing mostly consistent since then. And like I said, this started with like me trying to praise him, and people wanted to turn it around and do their usual bullshit. But like he is turning up, and the thing is like he's getting the assists, which is the main thing I want from him. The goals are nice and everything, but they're an additive for me. Like he is a creative player.
This is what I was getting at with. Yeah. No, I 100% agree with that. This is what I was getting at before, Ahmed. Like I think you're construing.
Hey Kai, how's Neto doing? Hey, talk less.
I think you're misconstruing your dates.
Oh, no. You know who we can talk about? Wait. You know who we can talk about? Because
hey, how's Neto doing? Talk less, Michael.
No, Scott. We can bring up one player, because I remember this because that same season we got Caicedo. Remember the crash out for Ugarte? Remember when?
Oh yeah, I was wrong about that as well. Hey Kai, Ugarte, my friend.
I wasn't.
You're proving my point. I said from mid-December. So I'm telling you,
after Everton, right? Yeah.
Yeah, mid-December. That's the point I was making, bro. I wasn't saying that he wasn't bad. I'm saying that his level dropped from like just mid-December.
But our whole team's level dropped, really.
That's why you can say. Then I wouldn't disagree. But I'm pointing him out, though.
But that's where I get to my point. You know, right? Like a player like him relies on a functional attack, and our attack wasn't functional.
No. But the point I was trying to make is, I think it's still fair yes, we can give the obviously the natural obviously explanation of like obviously those guys weren't doing well enough. That's fair enough, but we can also admit his level did drop off. A lot of it to do with the team. A lot of it may be because of the team. But I'm just trying to like, obviously just point it out, right? If that makes sense. It's not. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not trying to obviously just cooking for cooking sake, because like you can literally see his next goal comes back until literally at the end of Feb against Aston Villa.
Yeah, Aston Villa.
Yeah, so like I'm not trying to obviously listen. Obviously the Mount stuff was a little bit of banter because I remember we did a little joke about Palmer Mount the other week, so that's a little bit of fun. But on an honest note, but
if we're doing comparisons of players, can I do a comparison? Because Kai's here, and I just want to rub it in. Noni Madueke now has nearly double the amount of goals that Neto does this season in all comps. He has 2 goals away from Kai Havertz's best ever goal scoring season. Hey, but Noni Madueke ain't good enough. Noni Madueke is not good enough. He's just bandana man and all that bullshit. Interesting.
I need the bandana man. Shout out to Madueke.
Look at Nani.
Hey,
Nani,
Kai is looking back of Nani Madueke fan. I know that. He's starting to agree. He's actually a decent player.
What is Madueke's value on there? Does it say what his value is, by the way?
40 million.
That's no way he's 40 million euros.
No, he's probably
35 million pounds.
Honestly.
To be fair, that's basically what we bought him for.
We bought him for 30 million euros. We bought for 30 million euros.
I thought we bought him for 30 million pounds.
No, I thought it was 30 million pounds.
No, we bought
no, Google it. No, just go to transfer market.
I'm fairly certain. No, we bought it for 20. It was 29.7 million.
I thought it was 28 million.
It was 28.
No, he is 28 million. Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, 28.5 million.
That's what I was saying. So so I'm like, there's no
33 million. So what we're saying is his value apparently has gone up 7 million in the time that he's been here.
That's what I'm saying. That's
impossible.
That's
impossible.
I feel like we can get 45 to 50 million.
Oh my god! Hey, he has more goals in the league than Neto has in all comps. Jesus Christ! Sorry, carry on.
No, and the same amount of assists. And the same amount of assists, by the way.
Oh my god! Wait, does he?
Yes, Neto's 4 assists.
Oh yes, same amount of assists in the league, but Neto's struggling because he has no striker apparently.
But like you guys truly don't believe that we should get rid of Neto, right? Like he is a good player.
No. Well, if we get a target man, definitely no.
Because like Neto has come in clutch in at least 2 games this season that I can think of off the top of my head.
Great, fantastic.
Sorry,
it was Arsenal, and then there was the Everton game, or not the Everton game, the Fulham game.
I'll be honest, like with the whole Neto thing, like I'm taking the piss, but at the same time, it depends, right? Because like there was a conversation that happened, like there was a hypothetical was put out there with Enzo Fernandez and Rodrigo. Like if the opportunity was there, would you sell Enzo Fernandez to get Rodrigo? Like would you swap those 2 players? And I said yes in a heartbeat.
Really?
If the opportunity was yes in a heartbeat, brother. Like Enzo Fernandez can fuck off.
Can we give Lavia? Like
no, fuck off.
I don't want my team midfield.
I'd rather give Lavia. I back. You know what, Chris? I back. You know why? Because Lavia is an imaginary player that shows up 3 times in my imagination and 3 just like my imagination. 3 times in real life.
This is Lavia. We got Andre Santos, my guy. We got Andre Santos.
Listen,
yeah, that's one fine. With selling him. That's one fine with letting him go.
No, but that's what I mean. That's one fine with selling him.
That's one fine with selling him. And I got my dream, and I'm keeping that dream.
Wait. No, listen. Let's be honest. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Lavia. I think the thing is, listen, what we probably need to do, right? Yes, you keep him again this season, but what you need to make sure is that what we didn't do this season, there's an adequate situation where if the situation happens again, you're not drowning. You know what I mean? That's the problem that we had.
We needed a backup to Lavia, and we didn't have that.
Yes, that's the problem, right? And the thing is here that obviously there was a big part of the club's problem of like because they wanted to maintain the value of Ledley Ujukwu. Yeah, we sent him to Southampton as well, which obviously, and then we didn't even call him back when we wanted him to either. So do chat us as well.
Like. I don't disagree with Scott because I don't rate Rodrigo. I just want to let that be known. Like, I do think if Rodrigo comes into this team, he's our best winger. However, what I don't want to do is get rid of Enzo because there aren't many profiles like him in football in general right now. I can't think of another, like, top midfield. There's Enzo Fernandez. Tonali is pretty good in passing.
No,
we wouldn't get Tonali there.
The issue is, Marshall, and we've seen that this season.
Mm-hmm.
As good as Enzo has been, and I agree, he has been good. And like I said at the start, or like I've tried to explain, he has been very good. Like recently, the thing is with Enzo, and this is more because of the league we play in. Defensively and physically, he is nowhere near capable of defending to a good level in this league and competing physically in the league.
Consistently, I would say.
Sorry, who?
On a consistent basis.
Yeah,
Enzo.
on a
I don't think he's anywhere near good enough to do that consistently. I think we've seen enough of that to judge.
Yeah.
Tonali's much better than him defensively. Much better than him.
Yes, I agree with that.
I also think based on the way we play, and this isn't just a Maresca thing, I think with the profiles of midfield we have, unless you're going to put Palmer on the right, it's impossible to play all three of the midfielders we've got at the same time. So I think from a league perspective, his profile is unique, yes, but like Daniel made this point on Lewis's channel earlier, like I'm not saying he's on this level because he's not yet, but like you wouldn't want Pirlo playing in this league, in this team, because as good as he is, that profile just doesn't work in this league. It's the same with Enzo to an extent. I think like if
you probably
no, but Fabregas exists. We played without Fabregas.
Yeah, Fabregas does exist. We played with Fabregas in a defensive system, which suited him. You also saw when he didn't have someone covering him the season after, he was shit. It's the same with Enzo. Like I think if you play him in this, like if we play counter-attacking, for example, or if we played a different system, then maybe he could fit. And if you had if you play him next to like Lavia, for example, or Caicedo consistently, and just tell Caicedo to be his bodyguard, maybe.
Yeah.
I
would say like
Xavi Alonso is also better.
I'm going to give an example of a player that I probably would say
people trying to do comparisons. Xavi Alonso is better defensively than Enzo. He's more physical than Enzo. He's also much better player than Enzo.
Yeah.
On the ball, he's a much better player.
Even though, I don't necessarily think this player would work for us. It's not good enough for us, in my personal opinion. Although he's having a great season at AC Milan, like unironically, like a Reinders, like in terms of
Reinders.
Like right.
I do like Reinders.
If you have him as the third eight, a guy that's at.
No, I didn't.
Right.
But keep lying.
He's an attacking eight. He crushes the box.
Oh no, Kai! He said that. Kai, he never said that. What he said for this season was
once. By the way,
he said he was going to give Jackson this season because obviously Arsenal didn't go through it to see how he plays. Yeah. He says he could be a good striker, develop well, and score maybe 20 goals this season. Or
I'll tell you exactly what I said because I know what I said. I said two things. The only time I've mentioned Jackson and League, in Jackson in the same sentence, I said if he gets you 20 plus goals in a season, then he might be capable of winning a league with us, which he hasn't. And I said if he played for that Liverpool team that had Salah and Mane scoring the amount of goals he did, that he'd win a league title because they're not relying on him on goals and he can do the link-up play. That's what I said.
But listen, just going back to the point I was making, you need a bit more of a guy that's a mobile eight that can do the crash of the box and has a ability. He's basically he's an 8 out of 10 at everything, right? You need that sort of guy, right? Again, Santos is a good example of that. Probably that I would say he's probably pretty much an 8 out of 10 in everything that he's able to do in terms of box crusher that we have within our own, farming system, right? But again, Reinders, I think. Defensively, even though I don't think he's that great defensively, but I think in the other stuff he does a great job at. Barella got brought up as a good example as well. We basically an 8 out of 10 at everything that he does as well, and his quality, right? So I think that's the type of guy you're looking for, right? If you're going to replace Enzo, in my personal opinion. Even you know what, man? If you were to get even Güler, in my personal opinion, like Arda Güler, right? But you have to play. If you're going to play Arda Güler, he has to be a 10 though for me. You would probably need to make sure he's the 10. He's the 10 of your team though, not as an attacking 8.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think you'd have to play the Palmer role.
Going back to your original analogy, right? Is like if we were to get a Pirlo in this league, like the thing is, I know what you're saying and I agree. Like on an isolationist type of view, like it probably wouldn't work. But you look at, for example, Mo Salah's season this season, right? The reason that happens is because Mo Salah no longer has to do the defensive work and you have a Szoboszlai that does it for him. You have to the same reason with Leao. Like I don't want to bring Leao into the system because Maresca believes in defending and he would be an absolute nightmare to have in this team. But if another manager were to bring in a Leao then I would hope that he compensates with the other players to make it work. With a Pirlo, you can get certain profiles that make it work in terms of in the league. And I think with Enzo Fernandez, and one thing you got to give kudos to Maresca is that I think he's finally figured out a way to make it work. And even with Enzo, I'll even emphasize this. I'm not even the goals that he's getting in terms of where my standards are with Enzo Fernandez. The goals that he's getting are bonuses. I just want Enzo Fernandez to create and get assists. The fact that our attack has been so lackluster and he's getting goals, that's great. You're stepping up when we need you to step up. Same thing with Cucurella. I don't expect Cucurella to get multiple goals. The fact that he's been getting goals and compensating for a shit attack lately, like, that's a bonus, and that's great. He's had great performances outside of that. And same thing goes with Enzo. So I think there is a way you can compensate it. Rodrigo coming into this league, like the swap trade, I don't know. I feel like that profile of player, you can make it work in the league, and they are unique and so far and few in between now in current football that I don't know if I'd want to give it up, to be honest.
I don't care. I don't think it's. I'll be honest. I don't think it's that important. Like, I think you see in this league, like, you're right, that profile is so few and far between, but I think there's a reason for that, especially in this league.
Yeah, like fair. In football in general, to be honest.
No, there's a few of them, but like, I don't think it's that common. And like I said, I think for what we're trying to do and for what this league, like, again, it's just this league, right?
Yeah.
I think, like, also, like, it's why I say with the Santos thing, like, for me, ultimately, I think Santos is going to be a much better player in terms of all-round player. And so, yeah, so I think it's going to be, I think he's going to end up being better. And honestly, like, the level of talent Rodrigo is, I just wouldn't turn that down. My original point, just because that I brought up, it wasn't even that, it was on the Neto thing. What you said about Neto, where I was going with that is, like, if you told me we could swap Neto for, like, an Elise type level winger, I'm doing that in a heartbeat.
Oh, fuck yeah. No, I agree with you on that 100%. Just because,
so that's like, I'm not saying I would sell Neto, but he ain't this, like, untouchable player in this team. Like, I think the only reason he is here next season is A, because he's only been here a year, and B, because the price we paid.
Yeah,
but I don't think, I'll be honest, I don't think he's been anywhere. Like, we talk about how bad Sancho's been, right? And he has been bad at Sancho. I don't really think Neto's been that much better. I don't think there's really any difference. And one is costing 25 mil, and one is cost us 65.
Yeah, so, and this is the thing with Sancho, right? Like, okay. Okay.
I've already looked. By the way,
pull up stats,
Santos in a worse league. Santos in a supposed worse league and a worse team has like 5 less GNA than Enzo.
But here's the thing, like, and let's go over the goal, because I'm glad you brought up Sancho. I think actually, you brought up Sancho.
Oh no, sorry. Let me rephrase that. In the league, if we're not even talking all comps, if we're talking in the league, Andres Santos has more GNA than Enzo Fernandez in a worse team and a worse league. Thank you. Carry on.
I do want to see that, because everyone's hyping up Santos to be better than Enzo, and he's automatically going to bench Enzo. I personally don't believe it. I think they will be rotational players, but it is possible. I mean, the guy is very young and he is very, very talented. I mean, he's already getting called up to the Brazilian team at a young age. Even in this current form of Brazil, where they are competing to get a World Cup spot.
Camavinga was in a worse league. A lot of Mbappe was in a worse league. What are you talking about?
But in terms of like
that league, by the way, translates fantastically well to the Premier League, as you got seeing with Johan Wissa, by the way, another French player that you can add to the list of players that have translated from the French league.
He's had a good season, Johan Wissa.
17.
But in terms of, like, you know, we brought up about Neto and Sancho. I personally think Neto and Sancho aren't the type of wingers that we need in this system. Or if we are going to use those wingers, we need a striker, because they don't work. They're creators. They're essentially like, if we had goal scoring wingers, then this type of goal that Enzo Fernandez creates. This is Enzo Fernandez finding Sancho all the way on the other side of the pitch. It's a brilliant pass, and Sancho has enough time to place the shot. A goal scoring winger, a Kvaratskhelia, or who else is a goal scoring winger? There's not many, actually. not many left wing goal scoring wingers. Vinicius, we'll say a Vinicius, right?
Fun.
Or an Mbappe. But they put this away, and Enzo Fernandez gets more assists out of this system.
Sorry, I just want to say something. Kai, he's talking about Santos and Enzo. And if you keep bringing up Jackson,
by the way,
no, wait, let me speak for 1 sec. If you keep on bringing up how he talks about Jackson, then we can keep on bringing up how you were like crying and bitching over Ugarte then. And where is he now?
No, we don't have to do this. I wouldn't have to do this. If you want to bring up stats,
dude?
If we want to bring up stats, let's bring up stats. Enzo Fernandez this season in the league has the same amount of assists as the guy that Kai doesn't rate, the 8/6 Declan Rice.
Oof.
I'll find more. Don't you worry.
He's more goal assists.
Be here a while.
They have an attack very similar to us. If you're talking about shit attacks with Martinelli, Mikel Merino / Kai Havertz.
Bruno Fernandes has more assists this season than Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah,
Anthony Elanga has more assists this season than Enzo Fernandez. Eberechi Eze has more assists this season than Enzo Fernandez. Ryan Aït-Nouri has the same amount of assists this season as Enzo Fernandez. Should I go on?
Yeah, and the
Enzo
funny
Fernandez
thing is, Scott was actually,
and
the funny thing is, yeah, but you could say that with Bruno too, and he has Højlund. So what? And Højlund's worse than Jackson.
But Bruno,
you can't even you cannot deny that assist. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Can I do what I want to do so that you can understand where I'm coming from?
That's exactly what I want to do.
Højlund, I'm sorry, it's just Højlund, man. It's Højlund. I give him a break.
No, it's. I understand where you're coming from with that, but the style in which Bruno plays versus how Enzo plays, like Enzo is so much more precise. Bruno doesn't give you this pass. Like, let's be real. Bruno doesn't give you this pass.
Like, I'll be real. Bruno does, but not consistent.
Yeah. Every now, maybe once in a blue moon. Enzo does this consistently.
No, Bruno, like, it's not consistent. I don't know how to explain it. It's not consistent, but it's also not once in a blue moon. Like, he does have this pass in him. Like, I don't really.
He's got at least
Bruno
one every game.
Like, I don't rate Bruno at all. Like, really. But he does have this pass in him. He's just an erratic footballer. Like, this guy literally sniffs a line of coke before he plays a game. That's how he plays it. Literally how he plays. He's erratic as all hell. But he has this pass in him. He just doesn't always play it because he's too busy trying to hit 60 yarders across the pitch or shoot from 60 yards or dribble past like 10 players. Again, because he does the lines of coke before the game. At least that's what he plays like.
And the funny thing is, this whole debate that Kai is having with Scott is Scott actually praising Enzo. Once again, Scott has rated.
Yeah, I praised Enzo and said he was shit for 2 months, and man jumped on it and said I had an agenda, and then wanted to bring up Jackson. By the way, this is a Jackson who, if you actively watch the streams I've been on recently, you will hear me say about Jackson and how he's not been good enough recently, how we need another striker, how I want Jackson to be the backup, how he's not the guy I thought he was going to turn into. I've said that multiple times. But instead of listening to that, you want to continue doing bullshit. So we can do bullshit, by the way. I've just shown you we can do bullshit by listening to a bunch of guys that got the same or more assists than Enzo.
Kai and Scott are still friends, are friends. It's just a heated
we
debate
can do
right
the same bullshit. Like, if you really want, it's boring.
And I still hold. And listen, I know Kai.
No, I want to tell Jackson
about this. I still hold that Jackson does improve this attack. I do not care.
Nope, sell him.
I'll be real. You get a proper striker.
If we get a proper striker, you can sell him. Yeah, I wouldn't cry over it. But I think there is a good player there. But yeah, I mean, if we have goal scoring wingers in this team, then you can make a strong argument that Enzo Fernandez probably has more assists than all those players you listed, Scott. The Ezes of the league, the Aït-Nours of the league, the Declan Rices of the league, and all that stuff. Just because he has to deal with, a Neto who usually wants to cross or cut inside. He has to deal with a Jadon Sancho who wants to dribble past every single person before trying. He basically wants to walk the goal in. It does backfire on him. And on top of it, he doesn't have an out-and-out goal scorer. Jackson went through such poor form just in recent time. If we had an Osimhen, then I do strongly believe Enzo's assist numbers go up tremendously, at least 100%. By 5 more.
I think where I've kind of fall on Enzo.
I agree. By the way, it's either one or the other. By the way, either 100%. You get me a top goal scorer at the strike, and you can keep Sancho Neto, Or if you're gonna go for a Liam Delap, then scrap either Sancho or Neto and get me like goal scoring wingers.
100%. I think where I fall on the Enzo thing is like, I think overall, despite the nonsense that we've heard that has been going on, I do like Enzo. I don't like him anywhere near as much as I did when he first joined because of both off the pitch stuff and on the pitch stuff.
Yeah, off the pitch stuff. It did hurt him.
But if we're just talking from a purely footballing standpoint, there are certain things he's elite at. I think his medium to long passing is elite.
Yeah.
Or bordering on elite. But there are certain things, I think this is where we like, he is not on the same level as Caicedo. Caicedo's all-round game, I think we see that this season. His all-round game is he is bordering on, like, if he adds goals and assists to his game, we're talking about arguably the best midfielder in the world.
Yeah,
in terms of arguably the most complete midfielder in the world if he adds goals and assists to his game.
I would agree with that.
Enzo is not on that. Like, Enzo is a fantastic creative midfielder who's awful defensively.
He's got good attacking stats. I always said this about him. Since he's came to the club, he's going to give you the opposite of Jorginho. Like, Jorginho was solid defensively and could keep a possession and keep the ball ticking, but he would never really give you that much in terms of progressive passes, and he would never give you too many offensive numbers. Enzo Fernandez can give you the offensive numbers.
100%. And I think, like I said, his medium to long passing is incredible. I think his press resistance is really hit and miss. Like, sometimes, like the Villa game, for example, he'll have games where he's just, you can't touch him. There'll have other games where he literally can't trap a football. His reading of the game, I think, again, at times is really good. But like I said, like this, I think this idea that he's this like world-class level player, at least right now,
I wouldn't say
is just not true and not even close. Yeah. Like, he's got world-class attributes, but he's also got attributes that are barely League 2 level, I'll be honest. Like, his defending is like barely Championship level.
He
is awful defensively as well.
I think his defensive abilities have improved this season.
I don't think they have.
Or at least
I don't think they have.
Well, he wasn't nearly this bad defensively when he first came into the club.
I think they've been a lot more. I think
they've been masked. Like, I think that first season when he came in, he didn't have as much to do defensively. I don't think. Like, we don't really remember him doing it.
He was like a deep line playmaker.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't really have too much to do defensively.
Actually, we can just pull up the stats. I'm actually curious.
When it comes to defending, I'm gonna be so honest. And stats in general, like you saw with the stats I pulled up earlier. This idea, if you want to talk about the stats, you can see on the eye test. Defensively, I don't think he's gotten worse, but I don't think he's gotten better. I think he's just as bad. It's just now he's in a position where he gets exposed a lot more because he's further up the pitch. He has to do more. He has to cover more ground, which he can't do effectively. I think we see that. Like, I think Jabo and Luz explains it quite like perfectly. Like, I don't think I'd say he's fine. I think it's a bit underwhelming, but like, he's a good player. But exactly this.
Yeah, I think the way I was
to say he's irreplaceable in his midfield is wrong. We saw that at the start of the season when we put him out and put Lavi in.
I think for me, with the thing that's really helped Enzo is when the inverting has helped Enzo because it's meant you've got two essentially it's technically like a 4-man midfield if you include Palmer as a midfielder, if you want to call him, right? But essentially, you've got, if you don't include him, it's a 3-man midfield now, right? Caicedo's not necessarily alone because either a Cucurella in front of him or a Reece James or Augusto in front of him, right? So he's got two people now protecting the midfield. And so even if you get past Enzo, right, the midfield is still intact because he's still got two guys basically still covering the area, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, we create that box, right? And he has a partner. Like in this goal, for example, again, one of the things that I do like KDH in this area. He's been improving in this area, and he makes these runs, which opens up space. Enzo is going into space. He could potentially take a shot from here. He passes it off, and Nani takes a shot. But like, it's almost like that box midfield that we see all the time with the Pep systems of the world and all this of the world. It benefits him just to have that link up play. I think the more you link up with Enzo, the better he gets, or the better he looks on the pitch. when he's like your sole focus, then he kind of gets smothered by the opposition teams, which we've seen all the time. Like we see multiple games where as soon as Enzo gets the ball, 2-3 players are on him already, dispossessing him. Like it's happened because other teams have, caught on to that he can be a creative catalyst for us. I think it happened. What game am I thinking of that was like a prime example of that happening? That doesn't matter. But like Ahmed was saying, I think this system does benefit him in that sense, and why we've seen such better numbers for him.
But then, if we say that
Lavia and all that stuff too also helps. But
if we say that it's benefit Enzo, and essentially it's allowed him to not be seen as much because you're putting all that spark onto another guy, who's basically Cole Palmer. Then do you not think it's fair to say then it's Palmer? If you need to go by that logic, then.
So
because like I know a lot of the time you see online that a lot of people have talked about how the system is playing a part into why Palmer's playing poorly. Even though my own thoughts are, I think it's a lot more to do with a mental thing with him, where I think he's just overcomplicating the process and such. But if we go by that logic, right, that you're saying, then I do think there is some level of validity in us saying that Palmer kind of has been, because Prime has been made to be the shining light. So. Right, he's essentially allowed Enzo to be like a shadow, essentially, right?
In a sense, I think two things can be right about Palmer if we want to take this discussion on Palmer.
Yeah.
It's so I'll admit, on my way home, I was watching an analysis on Chelsea from The Athletic, right?
Okay.
And there was a bit of a breakdown on where most of Palmer's goals happened this season versus other goals, and only 2 goals came from positions where the opposition was organized. Every other goal was very much counterattack-esque, where the defense is not lined up, they're not organized, they're scattering to get back into position, that kind of stuff, where last season Palmer thrived on that. Our team thrived in terms of goals from counterattacks. And as a result of the counterattacks, we conceded the most amount of goals we've ever conceded in Chelsea's history under Poch. So in the beginning of the season, I feel like there was a lot of that adaptation period of Maresca ball where, there was still, we remember in the postseason, Ancelotti coming up to Enzo Maresca and saying to him, here, a word of advice is, keep push back your high line. Your defenders are way too high up the pitch. It's not helping you. And Maresca came out and said, these are some bad habits from the previous manager. And so I think to an extent, the system is hurting Palmer because we don't want to play basketball football. Maresca doesn't want to do that. Maresca doesn't want to play these counterattacking plays. I feel like, my personal opinion, I feel like you can have a balance where you can have some counterattacking football. Like if there is a position where you can have a counterattack and Jackson is clear, give Jackson the damn ball. Like don't just waste that opportunity. I think you can make it the most of some of these opportunities while still maintaining your system. You don't have to, just because you give up to one counterattack doesn't mean you have to forfeit the whole entire system. But Maresca doesn't want to play that way. So in a sense, it does the slow football, the building up and the passing along. It gives the opposition team a chance to organize, which hasn't really helped Palmer. But on the other hand, we create a lot of chances. And Palmer's confidence has been deteriorating for the last 4 months. So to an extent, I also think Palmer has to do with it as well, because Palmer has had chances to score and he just hasn't scored. He was given a penalty and he missed a penalty. These factors do play into the whole reason why Palmer's been playing the way he's been playing. I think it's 2 things. I think it is the system to an extent that has been smothering him and not really getting the most out of him. And not just him. I think most of our attackers, to be honest. I think Nicholas Jackson thrives more from a counterattacking style of football or a style of attack. I think Palmer benefits a lot more from a counterattacking style of attack. I think Neto is the prime. I think, to be honest, in my personal opinion, I think Neto has been the biggest culprit of the system. Because Neto at Wolves, bro, most of his goals the ones that I can remember are from counterattacks.
But do you know
He
what it
was
is,
that
though,
guy.
I mean, to be fair, Marshall, you don't really have a lot to remember. He scored 4 goals.
The problem with Neto, I would actually.
You think I'm joking, or I'm not?
I know you're not. You're right. You're right.
The problem I think, I'm gonna come back to the PowerPoint name because I think I agree with it. By the way, so there's nothing to disagree on that aspect. But I think the problem with the Neto issue is that fundamentally, it's a profiling issue, in my personal opinion, right? We did not buy a technical winger, who's good in the ball, that can hold the ball, and then can take on his man. We bought a guy that's a bit more of a pace and power guy, right? If you look at both Madueke and you look at Neto, the difference is, yes, man, don't get around and his touch might be a bit awful, but in general, technically speaking, he's a sound player, right? He's sound and he's got skill moves that go past his player in general, right?
He's super aggressive in his dribbling ability.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
The thing about Neto is you see it all the time, bro. Yeah, his thing is his ability with pace, and then he uses the feint a lot of the time. You see the way he feints one time and then tries to go back again with another vertical acceleration. The problem that we have here is that when you have a guy like that, you have to be passing the ball into him whilst he's in motion. We don't do that often with him, bro. We don't do that pass. That's one thing, I do criticize and Enzo for sometimes. Maybe a Caicedo at times, Why are we not passing to Neto in motion?
I think the problem goes back to Maresca. I think it's a Maresca problem.
I agree. That's something. That's why you have to then look at Maresca.
He doesn't want to do the counterattacking.
You have to find a way to get the ball in motion to play. Like for me, you're seeing it this season, bro. He's not providing you anything. You can see where the issue is. Why? This is why I look at myself. I'm like, you have to improve it there. I think the PowerPoint, my thing about Palmer is if you're seeing the issue that is causing your own player, and you're seeing yes, you're getting a benefit of Enzo playing well, right? But then the main guy of the team is being hurt because of it, right?
Yeah. So
then it's like, for me, why don't you try to tweak the system to then maybe allow Palmer to at least be a bit more, how shall I say, less affected by that? Because for me, it's not, you're not helping out Palmer, but you're helping out another player, if that makes sense, right?
Sorry, I disagree. I'm sorry. When you're missing Gilded's chances, that's
no. I'm talking. Listen, we agree about that already, CP. I'm mentioning
I think it's both things, CP.
Yeah, we agree that's both things. We talk about the formation thing though, because like the argument, I don't know if you were listening to the conversation we were having, CP, right? We were making the point that if the system is basically allowing guys like Palmer to Enzo to flourish because he's got a lot of a spotlight on him, because as a team, the team is creating a spotlight on the main man, as in Palmer, right? Then, that is not going to help out Palmer if he's, for example, if there's too many guys on him.
I believe you.
And it's not,
but I'm sorry, but that's with all-star players. I'm sorry, Bukayo Saka's been doing this for years. I'm sorry, this is you got your breakout season, right? This is why some people call the phenomenons like this one season wonders. I'm not saying he is, but I'm saying this is what Hazard had to deal with. This is what Bukayo Saka deals with when he's on the right. People are double teaming. Well, that's what all the Yamal deals with. This all the best players are going to deal with being double teamed or triple teamed.
By the way, he is an absolutely unbelievable football player.
Who? Yamal?
Yamal.
Oh my god, yeah.
Dude, that goal yesterday was.
This is the first stream. I know this is a complete dive, tangent, but I don't care. We beat Djurgården. I don't give a shit. I'd rather talk about good football players. Bro, that Barca team, holy shit. La Masia, bro, undefeated, unbeatable. 100%. Even with a blip, they still produce these players. Not even just Yamal, like that Fermin Lopez kid, Kubasi. I'm trying to think, like Danny Olmo, technically, Gavi,
Balde.
I forgot. Pedri's
from Las Palmas.
Cucurella,
absolutely unbelievable. Oh yeah, Cucurella, undefeated, unbeaten.
Yeah.
Anyway,
seriously. No. But let me ask you this, CP though, because I think most of us agreed to an extent that Cole Palmer was going to have a tougher season this season. Like if you listen to punditry and stuff, like when they were predicting how Cole Palmer was going to perform this season. I think most of them predicted that he was going to have a bit of a tougher season, probably not reach the same heights that he reached last season, simply because of now the league is aware of your presence. They're going to double up on you. They're going to, foul you more often and all this stuff. CP, let me ask you this. Do you think that this is just, do you think this is a dip in form, and do you think this is like a learning lesson in terms of the season for Palmer?
Well, that's what I'm
next
hoping
season
for.
He'll come back stronger.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Where
we don't know
your
yet until
heart,
we
what does your
figure.
heart say?
Be honest, man. Honestly, that's honestly.
I honestly think I honestly think he's done for this season.
For this season, I agree.
This season, he needs a reset, and I hope that pray to God that reset happens, because he's on 13 goals, I think, in the league. I can name you 2 goals he could have scored in Southampton, a penalty that's 16. He scored 22 last season. He's actually missed enough chances in the 4 months where he could have equaled that amount. So in terms of output, he could have equaled that goal output with less penalties. So it actually would have been more non-penalty goals. He had chances, at least output-wise.
What do the rest of you guys think in terms of Palmer, though? Do you think this is just a learning season for him to be more adaptable, more malleable in systems that are maybe more rigid, and maybe to figure out a little bit more how to play your game while also being double man marked and pressed and all this? Because, let's also be honest, he's still young, he's still learning. Obviously, he's not like a wonder kid like we all thought he was, like a Lamine Yamal. Well, I don't think anyone was calling him a Lamine Yamal, but just to give you an example,
you were calling Lamine Yamal, Marshall.
I was not.
You were.
I was not.
I've got the clips.
Share, please.
End of the season.
Share.
End of the season, we'll be clipping them.
We do have a receipt stream at the end of the season, depending on how the season ends.
Loading. I've got a dossier on you, mate. I'm telling you.
Okay, but what do you guys think in terms of Cole?
No, I think, listen, you want to hope next season he gets back to his best, right? But right now, the game's gone. Essentially, right? It's over for him for this season. Yeah, but
is this a learning lesson season, or is this just?
You have to hope
he's going to struggle as long as Maresca's here.
You have to hope it is, bro. I think for me, if this continues next season and he's still playing in the same formation, in the same role, you're gonna have to start looking at is it now a tactical issue?
You know what
I mean? Well, if it's a colour thing, then
sorry, it's just because you said is it, bro. I can't lie. I just default to that.
I'm trying to spell this. I'm trying to make.
But no, I think the thing with Palmer is it's not necessarily the goals and assists that affect me. Like, the goals are an issue, 100%. But
sure,
it's because someone I think commented saying like he's only 2 goals off Saka's best ever goal scoring season. He might be, but I think the thing with Saka for Arsenal is it's not his goals and assists. It's that capability of putting the team on your back in a tough moment and dragging you through. He hasn't done that. It feels like there are some games in this, basically since he's had this bit of form, it feels like there are games that bypass him entirely. Like the
last game. Yeah.
Like the Everton game. Yeah, he's the worst player on the pitch.
Yeah.
And so I'm fine if you don't get the goals and assists all the time. It's not always going to happen, right? Obviously, you don't want him to have as barren a run as he's having, but you've got to be able just to give Kai and like whatever and the people that want to go back to Enzo. What Enzo's done the second half of the season, he hasn't always assisted or got goals, but there have been games the second half of the season, or like where he is at times, like that Villa game, for example. I know we lost the game. I'll always go back to that. He was the only player that turned up. He's the only player that gave a shit and turned up and tried to drag us through that game. I don't remember Palmer doing that in a game since this bad run of form started. Like being like the player that's like, I'm going to drag us through this game. I don't remember him being that.
Yeah, and that was what he was.
I might be wrong.
Season, or the majority.
I'm happy
if
someone can remind me of a game. I'm happy to be wrong.
Don't
right. Remember.
I think the last game I can remember that was probably the Brighton game in the beginning of the season, where he scored 4 goals. Like that's the only game I can think of right now off the top of my head where he was like, I'm gonna take care of this game, And it's just, I really hope, and I do think, because I think Palmer is a very talented player. I don't think he's a one season wonder. I do think that this is an adaptation period for him. Because let's also be honest. Prior to Chelsea, he was playing at Man City from time to time off the bench, right? A Man City team that's a lot more drilled, a lot more well established, a lot more has a lot more structure than at Chelsea. Comes to Chelsea and now gets first team minutes for the first time in his career. He's learning on the job as well. I do feel that next season we will see an improvement on Palmer. There will be more consistency. Whether he plays a 10 or the right wing, I don't think the positioning is so much of an issue. I think it's the confidence as well as getting used to the structure and how to, how do I score goals when it's not chaotic? How do I score goals when the other team I'm playing has a good setup as well? These are, obstacles that the best players in the world know how to get through. You look at the Lamine Yamals in the world. That is an interside that is drilled defensively, very, very strong defense. And for Lamine Yamal to have the moment that he had to open up that scoreboard, most teams, most players at that age, they put their heads down. Damn, we're 2-0 down. Like, we're losing this game. We're not doing well. He picks his head up, makes a chance out of nothing, and then scores. And that comes with confidence. That comes with, drilling and doing it over and over, which he's been playing a lot of football at a professional level. I think he's actually played more. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Lamine Yamal has played more professional football at the senior level than Cole Palmer has. No. Or there might be equal amounts.
Game.
No, he hasn't.
No,
he has not.
No.
Okay.
Could be actually.
It might be.
No, it might be like tit for tat around the same amount of games.
The problem is Lamine Yamal only started playing regular football last season, right? And Cole Palmer, even though yes, he was at Man City and gets scarce minutes, he was playing some level of professionality. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just having a look, seeing how close it is.
Because I would even say it might balance out as well with at the international level, because Palmer wasn't really used as a starter at the international level.
No, Yamal's more.
Yeah. So that's also experience, we saw the Euros, like everything was a system, everything was a structure and a rigidness, when you're exposed to that and you have experience to that, you start to learn how to play around it. You start to learn how to adapt your game to benefit.
Tell you what, Marshall might be right at club level,
What are you finding?
Hang on. Mm-hmm. You might be right. Weirdly.
I know, right?
Come on, man. I cook sometimes.
That's why it's raining here, man. It's because Marshall's right about
guys.
Have
a little bit more faith. Hold back. You guys suck.
That was fun.
4, 2, 1.
But yeah, my point being is that I think this season has to be a season where Cole Palmer needs to learn how to play when you have two men on you. Pause. Has to learn how to play when you are up against more well-structured or well-positioned defenders.
Across the last 2 seasons, Palmer has played 1 more minute.
Yeah, so they're just about there, So and last season, I think Yamal probably had a not as chaotic team, like a counter. I don't think Yamal played in a counter-attacking team. I don't think Xavi was.
No, it was still Hansi Flick last season, wasn't it? No, was it Hansi Flick or was it Xavi last season?
No, last season was Xavi. And
definitely wasn't counter-attacking then.
Yeah, so when we're in counter-attacking football, and now you're playing for your first season, you're up against more rigid football, and you're slower on the build-up, and now you have to go up against, well-positioned sides. I can cook eggs. It's just a different learning curve. Huh? I can cook eggs.
I was about to get scared for a second. I was like, yeah, man, that's the basics, man.
No, it is. It really is basics. So I think Club World Cup is going to be a big test. And if we do get Champions League, we need Palmer to learn already. Like, bro, you need to have figured this out, because when we're up against Champions League teams, if we do get Champions League, then bro, you're not gonna have too many chances like you have in the Premier League or in Conference League to score goals in chaotic moments. You need to learn how to make your own chances or break down the structure. So that's just my 2 cents on Cole Palmer. I don't know if anyone wants to add anything before we probably move on to who else do we move on to? Who could we talk about in today's game? I mean, Tariq George had a solid.
Do you want to do a
performance.
preview?
We could do a preview on Liverpool if you want.
I don't know what much else there is to say. Like Djurgården, we performed how we should perform. Got to take that going forward.
Let's go win. I don't give a shit about the performance, bro. Listen, I will be doing a little side thing, you know.
No,
I don't really care about the performance. I hate to say it like this, bro. I genuinely do not care about the performance, bro. I just need a W.
That's not. Oh man, that's me in the league. That's not me in the Conference League, brother. Like,
I don't care. Listen, Conference League wise, bro. The problem with the Conference League is, I think I've realized this now too. If the players don't give a shit, this is the way they're just.
Which is why I want the youth to play the next game. By the way,
like for me, it's starting to become pointless, basically for me, right?
Bro, there was times in today's game that was frustrating me. Well, actually, I should say there was one time.
Logic.
Okay? There was one time in today's game that annoyed me, which is like, and this is what I'm worried about.
You need to play American Waffle, Logic.
Don't entice me.
This Monday on American Waffle, if we lose, I will be here for the Xenophobia Nation.
I can't lie. This was one of. I would say just quickly on the Kukurea thing. This was one of his quiet games. Like, he didn't do anything.
He was quiet.
Wrong. But, like, he just didn't really do anything in the game. Like, he was.
Ahmed,
like
illegal streaming Outlaw Nation. Firstly, I don't illegally stream. I actually pay for my stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes, he does.
You know what I mean? Get your money up, style. Get your money up, style. You know what I mean? That's what I'm just gonna say to you, bro. You know what I mean? Don't worry, man. I'm gonna be watching the game like on the side, but I'm gonna be watching my actual money that I pay for wrestling wise. Yeah, on the actual wrestling show.
What I will say,
I mean,
and this goes towards the conversation about the next leg. I want to play the youth because I want the youth to take this seriously, take this as an opportunity to impress and follow along the footsteps of an Achimpong and Tariq George. Because I think one thing that hasn't been touted enough for Maresca is that this guy's giving youth a lot of chances. Like, as opposed to Poch last season.
It's the same.
I don't think it's the same.
It's the same, bro.
I genuinely don't think it's the same.
What's the difference? Hang on. No. What's the difference between Walsh making a 10-minute cameo and Jimmy Terrarian, or whatever the fuck his name was, making a 10-minute cameo?
The amount of minutes Josh is getting in Tyreek.
I'll be like, outside of Tyreek George and Josh, and let's be honest, Tyreek George up until about halfway through the season was barely getting any minutes, and even Josh as well. Like, he got some, like, he did start some games, but then got dropped and wasn't seen like at all. Like, this whole youth thing
got minutes. We've seen
again. It's like he started a game. He started Raksaki for one game. Like, he's basically on what Poch did last season. He played the youth a bunch in terms of he'd subbed them on in games. Terrarian, he's the one that started Josh, gave Josh his debut.
Your favorite player, Alfie Gilchrist.
Gilchrist, yeah. I nearly called him Billy Gilchrist. Alfie Gilchrist.
Billy, okay, Gilchrist, I'll give you that. Who was the other one you said?
What was his name? I keep calling him Terrarium, but that's not the right thing.
I know Golding played a game.
Oh yeah, Golding. That's another one. He's Finnish. What the fuck, Jimmy? Everyone called him Jimmy because that was his first name. No one could pronounce his second name. There was those four. Who else was there? That's the one. Cheddar's got it. He played like 5-10 minutes in a cup game in the run we had to the final. He literally played 5-10 minutes. He was part of that. You remember when Poch every game, because we had injuries, would pick a new youth player out of the hat to put on the bench?
Yeah,
like he was one of them.
Played them.
Who else was there? Am I? Did Dylan? No, Dylan Williams didn't play. I
don't think Vale played last season.
I don't think Vale played.
Vale played a game.
A game?
I don't remember what game it was, but he played a game.
Was it like Plymouth or not Plymouth?
He sucked, but he played a game.
I don't remember.
I don't. Yeah, like to me, it's the same thing. Like the only difference is is the Tyree George thing. Because like if you think about it, Acheampong has basically got the Gilchrist role this season. Like he's just taking Gilchrist's place. It's just the Tyree George thing, and he spent half the season not really playing him or giving him like 10, 15 minutes again. It's like this whole youth thing is cool, but I don't think he's done it anywhere near as much. The thing is he hasn't done it anywhere near as much as he could do, because like the game against Legia Warsaw, you started a stronger team in the second leg when we were 3-0 up than in the first leg. I mean, you might have needed to after we saw the performance they gave, but like the next team, like the game in the next leg, for example, I should like the team should be this should be the team. It should be Jorgensen in goal.
Sure.
It should be Acheampong, Tosin, Badiashile, and Samuel Smith. It should be a midfield pairing of probably Amugu and KDH. It should be Nkunku in the 10, Sancho and George, and Shimawaker up front. Is what it should be. Shim will not play. Amugu will not play. Samuel Smith will not play. So it's like,
but I would really want them to play, just because, like, for
but they
example,
won't play.
today.
But that's my point. If he was all about giving youth a chance, and it's not just performative, same as it was with Poch, same as it is with all these managers.
I think he'll give them a half, like how we got the lead and subbed on people.
Yeah, he could give him a half.
Because if you think about it, like against Legia Warsaw,
for the next
we were 3-0 up and then conceded 2 goals in the second leg, and we already conceded 1. So if we concede 2 more, let's say, and this leg, then it's another like 1 goal ahead.
Here's the thing: the last thing I want is, because I think it even happened in this game, a little bit of complacency, a little bit of like cockiness and arrogance. Listen, I know Nani gets accused of this all the time, but I think today there was one moment where I was like, okay, dude, pass the ball. Okay, pass the ball. Listen, you're better than these players. We get it. You don't need to dribble through the whole entire team. And I feel like that sometimes comes from a lack of respect for the opposition, which I don't want this team to go into the next leg not respecting the competition, like what Reece said against Legia Warsaw. Not respect the competition, get ahead of yourself, be arrogant about it, not take the game seriously, and then you have a shit performance in front of your own fans. Like, that's just going to piss off everyone. Twitter's going to go off in a hailstorm of anger and a fit. Oh, we're not going to win the final and all this and that. It's just play the youth. They'll take it seriously. They'll look at it as an opportunity to impress, and they'll respect the opposition, hopefully. You know, unlike our starting players and rest of those starting players, because we're going to need them against Newcastle. We're going to need them against Nottingham Forest, United, Liverpool. That's coming up next, you know? So that's the way I see it for this next leg. Will he do it? No. I agree with Scott. I don't think he will entirely. I think there will be some players that do start. I could see like a Shim Mueka starting the game. Shim starts.
I'll be real.
Or actually,
there is Marshall. I'm willing to.
Do we have any news on Guiu, by the way? I forgot to mention that.
We're Guiu Nation.
Who cares? Actually, no, I can't think about it because I like.
Because if he's gonna be fit for the next leg, maybe he gets a few minutes.
Oh, you know, like if he is fit, he should start. But my point is, Marshall is like, outside of the guys we've already seen, and by that I mean Josh and George.
Sure.
There is not a single other youth player I see starting next week.
JC, do not entertain Sanchez. I need him gone. I'm sorry, I got distracted there.
Oh, shut up, man! With this Sanchez competing.
One more time, Scott.
Oh no!
I need to like fuck off with Sanchez. Sanchez should be on the should be on the
not a whole starting 11, David, but a good amount of rotation.
No, like out. I didn't say a whole youth of a whole 11 of youth.
I'm just saying. I don't mean a whole youth either. Yeah,
like you still have Tosin, Badiashile, KDH, Sancho starting, and Nkunku. Like it's just like half a team, which I think is fine with 4-1 up against Djurgården at home. Like you should be able to see that out.
Playing the B team. Just play the B team. I don't really care.
Yeah, but like some of these youth players are the B team. But that's what I said is I don't think that there's outside of the two that are already playing consistently in George and I don't think there's a single other youth player, quote unquote. I say that because like I don't really consider Amugu, even though he is.
I do want to see him play too. Yeah.
I don't see a single youth player playing or not playing, starting. In fact, actually, I'll go one further. I don't see a single youth player playing more than 15 minutes in that game, outside of Acheampong and George, obviously.
Yeah. So the thing for me is just listen. What you just need to do, you're probably going to play the B team for the first half just to make sure it's still either we get a 1 goal up or we just maintain the scoreline. And in the second half, that's when you start throwing in kids. That's what you show.
Yeah, sure. I could see that too.
Yeah.
I just hope that's not the case.
That's his start. As long as you understand the way Maresca plays, that's his game. That's his gameplay. So that's what you got to expect.
Shouldn't be the backup to anyone. Should be gone. Jorgensen should be the backup.
Yep.
So, in terms of Liverpool now, how do I word this? I feel like I already know the answer.
Are we doing a Liverpool preview, by the way?
Yeah,
might as well.
No, are we actually doing like as a separate thing?
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
No, as a separate thing. No. Right now, I mean.
Oh yeah.
Because I did put in the title, forced to drop points.
Yeah.
Like,
I think for me, from a Liverpool,
big up my African Kings, brother. Like I said it on Lewis.
Yeah.
Both of them, bro. Mbeumo and Wisa. 35 goals between them.
Oh yeah, no, Mbuemo's been killing it this season, and
it was Shada and Wisa, but
it was Shada that scored the first.
Yeah, yeah, but like, listen, you know, at the end of the day, we got a massive lifesaver via Brentford, obviously today, right? That was big up. We have to give them credit. Thank you for doing that for us. But again, against Liverpool, I come back to the same thing I said just a little bit previously. Just win. I don't care how you do it. I don't care how it happens. As long as I see Chelsea W 3 points on the board, that's all that matters, baby.
Do you guys think it's even possible though? I personally,
bro, I don't know.
As optimistic as I am, in the run that I said this is a loss.
Bro, I don't know. Listen, I'm gonna be.
Well, I didn't think Forest would lose to Brentford. So
listen, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't.
Curry.
Right. So for me, but for me, from just a Chelsea perspective, bro, you just need to get something, bro. Even if you don't get the win, get in the draw, right? I don't know who Forest are facing this weekend, right?
Palace on Monday.
Palace on Monday.
Red Hot Palace. Let's go.
Right.
That's
so
another one
me,
too. That's
just for me,
banana skin potentially.
No, I get that, but that's the point for me. Is just you just go out there and
widen the gap.
Compete. Yeah, you just gotta go out there and compete and get. You just gotta go out there, compete, and win the game, bro. That's what you gotta do, bro.
But would you guys be happy with the draw?
For Liverpool, yes. Newcastle, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's not ideal. I mean, it's not ideal, but we would take it.
But because it's not a loss, and it's like it is a point, but it's really not ideal. Because like the problem I have is like, for me, I know we're fifth, but Newcastle's fixtures I think are fairly easy. Yes, they lost Joe Linton, but I don't think it matters in the grand scheme of things. I think Villa have got a favourable run. Forest is a bit. I think City have got a decent run. We've got come through the hardest of anyone. I think you need to win at least 3 games.
I think
to guarantee you get
it is. We could win. I mean,
I don't think
isn't going to be easy.
Okay. Because I know everyone goes, "Oh, they'll be on the beach. They're like, and all that nonsense." But it's like, I don't think that matters because they've got nothing else to play for. Like, it's not like they've got the Champions League to fight for or the FA Cup or anything like that. They've got nothing else to play for. Salah's going to want to like get the golden boot and comfortably get the golden boot. And I think he's on for a record as well. I could be wrong of some description.
I think he's trying to break an assist record.
That too. It's also he loves playing against us. I don't see Klopp being that kind of guy that's going to let them like take their foot off the gas.
But Scott, last time they won the league, that was in 2020 when they didn't have anything to play for then either. They weren't in the FA Cup, they weren't in the Carabao Cup, they weren't in the in the final of the Champions League, and they got battered by Arsenal, and then they lost to another team. I think it was
I just think, man. Listen, I'm just gonna put out this, bro. I getting a point he's still getting a point. I just think for me personally, and I'm gonna put out this, bro. You just gotta go there and win, bro. Like again. It's in your hands again, Marshall, right? Yeah, you've been given yet another chance, bro.
Lifeline.
And I think for me, I wouldn't usually say this, but I think having Lavia now in the team, right? Generally speaking, has to be a positive for you, bro, because you're the right. Whether we want to admit or not, bro. Reece James playing for you, Kukurea playing for you, bro. You have to take this as positive signs, bro. Last time we didn't have Kukurea in the team, if you remember, bro, right? Now, from an attacking perspective, I don't care how we get the goal. Penalty, own goal, just make it happen, bro. Listen, this is just one of those games where you just gotta make it happen. It has to be hook or by crook.
Mm-hmm.
This is the exact type of game that Ahmed said before, like and he said earlier. This is the game where it does not matter how you win. You can play, like, for example, that Forest game, last game of the season, is another one. We can go there and play the most like we won't, and also I don't even know if we can because of Forest, but like I'm talking, if you could go there and play the most disgusting low blocker you've ever seen and just scum a 1-0 win, and I'm absolutely fine with that. I don't care. Same with Liverpool. You could play the most disgusting football ever seen to mankind and get a 1-0 win, and I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, when you look, obviously there are some matches here that it's kind of that same little blip that we saw last season with Pochettino, the Burnleys of the world, those results, the Sheffield result. You look at this form on paper, it doesn't look that bad. Since Southampton, since the really, really bad form where we just got clapped by Brighton and then followed that up by the last minute loss against Villa, we've only lost to Arsenal. Since coming back from international break, we are undefeated. I think it is possible. Newcastle can potentially lose fixtures, because if I look at Newcastle's fixtures, I think there is a banana skin in here. Let me just by competition. Newcastle does have Brighton, could be a banana skin. Chelsea could be a banana skin. Arsenal are checked out, and Everton aren't necessarily easy to beat, so that could be a draw. I do expect them to win though. So like, our best bet, unfortunately, is, I think, Nottingham Forest continuing to drop points. Because let me see if I can pull up the league. Let's just get an update on the league right now. Premier League standings. Okay, we're looking at, get zoomed in here. If next game Nottingham Forest were to drop points and we were to win, we get a significant gap where, you know, Villa can't catch up to us. I don't think so.
We have to at least win one of our last 4 games, by the way, because Forest will get 3 points from now to the end of the season. They're facing, I think, either Southampton or Leicester. They will get 3 points.
Yeah, that's true. They're
at home as well.
Is this true?
So,
Newcastle haven't won at Brighton in 2 years.
So we need to win at least one game. That can be the Forest game. That's fine. But just to match Forest's results, we're going to definitely need to win at least one game. They're facing Palace away. Who else are they facing? Palace away.
They're facing
Leicester.
Oh, you're talking Forest. Sorry, hold on. Let me pull that up. Facing Palace away. West Ham.
I think they're getting 6 points minimum. I think they're beating West Ham.
Yep, I agree.
That means you need to win at least 2 games. Out of these next 4.
Keep the lead. Yeah, keep the lead. I mean, they could drop points against Crystal Palace, and then if they were
Palace and us is like potential, but that last game against them, depending on what happens in the next 3 games, could mean nothing. Like we could go into that game effectively having nothing to play for if we don't do enough in these next 3 games.
Let me look at City's fixtures too.
It just for me. Listen,
they're playing Arsenal.
Yeah, listen. It's just for me. Yeah, that at the end of the day,
City. I can't lie. Sorry, I'm just going. City for me. That is what I'm looking at them. Again, I think they're guaranteed for me 6 points. I think they beat Wolves and they beat Southampton. Bournemouth and Fulham away Fulham away and Bournemouth home has been interesting.
Wait, you think they beat Wolves? Wait, why would
Isn't Wolves their bogey team, boys? Though isn't Wolves their bogey team?
Wolves are in good form right now.
6 in a row. 6 in a row. 6 in a row.
Cunha has been destroyed.
Like from what I know that Wolves is usually their bogey team. But
I know. Hang on. I know what you're going to say about Wolves. Look at the 6 games
look
they
at
won.
Yeah. Look at the teams. Yeah, that's true.
No. I'm not even talking about the 6 points. I'm just talking about both the
in general.
Oh yeah, that I don't know. I don't know if they're their bogey team, but
because I know
look
that
at the teams they faced. Look at. I'm not taking anything about Wolves. Look at the teams they faced.
Yeah. I think they could pull out a draw. It is possible. But also Erling Haaland is supposed to be coming back for this fixture. I don't think he starts, but I think he'll be on the bench. So that could play a factor as well when it comes to City. You have Kevin De Bruyne, who's been doing better.
What, JC?
Yeah, top 3 is insane. Absolutely
What?
I think for us to get 3rd, by the way, we have to win again, like what I said earlier, 3 of our last 4. Which I personally don't see us beating any of the last 4 teams outside of maybe Forest, because again it might be last day of the season. Like neither team has anything to play for, so our players might turn up. I don't think we beat United.
I can't.
The other 2 games, I think Newcastle, United. I'll be honest. I think United's the only team we definitely don't beat. The other 3, we could beat all of them.
Really?
Yeah, with our record against them, I know what you're going to say, and I don't care to have this debate again. It's just
I know. I'm not going to. I know.
Even with like the Newcastle game as well. To be fair, our record at St James's Park is absolutely awful, but maybe they can turn up. The 2 games that are going to be I was going to say easiest, not easiest, but like the 2 games that we're going to have the most joy in is Liverpool and Forest. It's bizarre to say. It's fucking stupid to say.
Because you know what's gonna happen, right? Forest is gonna just be because the way it's gonna happen here is that Forest is just gonna play the counter-attacking football, right? And they're gonna last to have the ball like they did last time at home, right? So that's one of the things. I think the other thing for me, and I'm just gonna put it like this, is that if you just want to maintain 5th place by itself, right? Yeah, barring if you beat Forest, that's fine. Let's move that fixture aside, The remaining 3 fixtures, if you just win 2 of them, right? If you win 2 of those fixtures, right, and you draw 1 of them before you get to Forest, I think you're in good hands, bro. Because once you beat them, you're in good hands. But it has to be 2 wins, 1 draw at minimum.
This Chelsea-Liverpool game is going to be huge.
I'm telling you, man, the Chelsea-Liverpool game is super huge. That's why I'm not watching it, man.
Sunday.
I can't watch it. I can't watch the game, man. I'll be honest.
I might watch it at a pub.
Half 4. It's going to be half 4, man. It's going to be half 4 picture.
Half 4. Cool. I have to watch that and go to the gym. Too. Hey.
Like legit, I told you, man, I saw the wrestling tickets that were available today on Monday, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch the wrestling. I'm just gonna do the thing where I just don't watch the game and hope that me not watching it is gonna give me enough judge to make it happen.
Some of you are more optimistic than I am. I think we're gonna win them all.
What?
Yeah, no.
If that happens, man, listen,
I did say to Pete, if Lavia is fit for Newcastle, I think we beat Newcastle.
I said I.
Because I think Lavia is enough to smother that midfield. I do think he's that guy.
If you don't have Joe Linton in that team, and it's Lavia,
I think he's out.
Yeah, I'm saying no. If he's not available for the game,
he's out for the rest of the season.
If he's out for the rest of the season, then I think your argument is valid in my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But then
I still don't know, but maybe.
But then the question becomes, who's stopping Isak, and then who's gonna stop Gordon? Is Gordon still playing for them?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's my biggest worry. Outside of United, all of the last 3 teams we're facing are that good going forward, and we're that bad defensively, even with Lavia in the team. That I just
Isak's form
issue I have. I don't see us keeping a clean sheet in any of these games. Outside of maybe United, that might end 0-0. Outside of that, I don't think we're keeping a clean sheet. That means we have to outscore these teams. The only team I think we outscore is Forest, potentially. I don't think we outscored Newcastle. Not with the form their forward line is in, and with it's not even form. Like there's no our forward line isn't in form. I know Jackson got 2 goals saying that's great, and you got 1 goal against Everton, but it's still not in form. And I just don't think we stop. Like again, I know Liverpool went on the bench, but it's still you're playing the best player in the league. You're playing the best team in the league. I don't think we outscore. That's
if
why
Jackson
maybe we get
scores
draws
against. Go ahead, Scott. Go ahead.
I'll say maybe we get draws. Like it might be 1-1, or maybe 2-2. But I don't really see us getting more than 2 goals against Liverpool. I could be wrong. And I would love to be wrong.
If Jackson manages to score against Liverpool, bro, I think Jackson, early season Jackson has returned. I think the confidence is there, and he can potentially.
I think if he scores in every game from now to the end of the season, he'll end with the same amount of league goals he did last season.
That's.
Listen, I don't even care. Listen,
he gets a goal in every game, and that's only if he gets 1 goal, by the way.
Listen, I'm just gonna be honest. I don't even care if he's scoring. I just need people to score. Someone just chip in with a goal.
Yeah.
That's what it just comes down to for me at this point. I think we're just dilly-dallying, saying he's gonna score them in goals.
No, because a lot of people are saying, like, in order for this. No, but a lot of people are saying, Ahmed, in order for this run of fixtures to work, we need Palmer and Jackson to be at their best.
Okay,
and
now, listen, it's not gonna happen though. Like, I think we also need to realize that might not happen. So, listen, these are not the only 2 players that exist in this football team. We've got midfielders, we've got other attackers that exist that have to chip in too. You know, that's the one thing. I really hate. In football, by the way, because you want to go into these other panels. Or other panels or something like that. They're like, if Palmer's not scoring, your team's losing. And I'm like, then then we have a team problem. Then why do we have to rely on one player?
By the way, right? I just want to debate the point that JC has made about the amount of goals we've conceded against Forest. Because for me, that's such a disingenuous point because it doesn't take into effect context. Because you're right. They've only conceded 1 more goal than we have. They've also got a lot more clean sheets than we have, which tells you that we have been consistently bad defensively across the season. They are just bad in certain games. Like when they collapse hard. Like when there are games they have when they concede, they just collapse. Like they conceded 5 against Bournemouth. We're not conceding 5 against every team, but we're conceding 1 or 2 against. We're conceding at least a goal a game.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and that's why, yes, you can say, they've conceded more goals or the same amount of goals. Cool. But when you look at clean sheets and you look into when they've conceded, they just concede a lot of goals in certain games. They conceded 3 against Newcastle. They conceded that 5 against, what's it called? What did I just say? Bournemouth.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I'll be honest, by the way, that Murillo fellow.
I conceded 4 against Newcastle, never mind.
That Murillo fellow, the less that I him, the better, man. I told people, there's something funny about that brother, and now it's coming up.
Is it a color? Is it a height thing? Is it a height?
It was a height thing, bro. I've always said that I didn't rate him. I didn't rate him like that, bro. I never rated him like that.
Do you know what it is with Murillo? I think he's a good centre back, and he has qualities, but he's another one of the guys we've spoken about where he has deficiencies. And I think that's the thing is if he was worth 35 million, I think that's a fair price, 35-40 million for him. If you were buying him from Forest, obviously, because Prem tax and everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. I know there's been quotes. I know there's been quotes of 60 plus. That's
Alan
not.
Marshall. Ray Allen comment. Yeah. Ray Allen's comment. The last the Bomb Cola comment. Okay, and what? Bomb Cola. Fair enough. He was rubbish too. Do you not think? Listen, my point still remains.
By the way, was the miss that bad that he had?
That was really bad. That was a really bad mess. Him and him and the other guy, Conga Ramos, man, criminal behavior. Yeah. I'll be honest, but listen, I think for me,
blood on their hands.
I think for me, I think the way I would put EPL turf is, yes, they've conceded more, but I think you have to look at when those goals are conceded. Has there been a consistent thing over a number of games, or has it been some of these goals have been happening in clusters, if that makes sense, right? Has it been they've been going 4 or 5 games without a goal, but then one of the next games they face, they've let in 3, for example, right?
Bro, I'm looking here. Ahmed, they conceded 3 against Arsenal, 3 against City. Where else we got? There was another 3. They've conceded 5 against Bournemouth. They conceded 4 against Newcastle. They've got a bunch of games where they've conceded in big batches. Where you look at us, we're just conceding a goal. We're just conceding every game. Every game. Fulham, we won, we conceded. Obviously conceded 2 against Ipswich. Conceded 1 against Arsenal. Conceded against 2 against Villa. 1 against West Ham even when we win. 1 against Wolves even when we win. So that's the thing. Like that's why I say, like, yes, they have conceded a lot of goals. It's often goals in like a lot of games because, like I said again, I want to check and see if he's still top.
I remember against Nottingham Forest in the
He's
first
not.
half of the season.
He's second. Sorry, carry on. Matt Sells Matt Sells is still top in the Golden Ball for clean sheets. There's only one player in the Premier League, and it's Virgil van Dijk for more clean sheets.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, and our goalkeeper is our highest player is Caicedo and Colwell on 8.
I was gonna say that in terms of it's such a good goal from Jackson. Anyways, in terms of the Nottingham Forest matchup, if I remember correctly, we created a good amount of chances the first time we faced them, but we just couldn't get the goal. We weren't clinical on that day.
Yeah, I think Noni missed one from what I can remember. I think he actually missed a couple. Both teams created chances because that was one of the games that Sanchez actually decided to turn up across the season. True.
I do feel that, like what Scott was saying and alluding to, like if we can get one goal against Forest, I think we create enough chances that we can open them up and create multiple goals.
I'll be real. In that Forest game, the team who scores first wins.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's potentially obvious to say, but like if they score first, I would almost be willing to bet money we don't score.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's the last game of the season. Depending on where they'll be, they have nothing to play for. And it's Nuno. They'll sit in the fattest low block.
Yeah.
Like if Champions League is confirmed, and the only difference is whether they finish like 4th or 3rd for them. I just think they'll sit in the fattest low block, and like and just defend for their lives. We struggle to break down low blocks. Like we've already seen that, or not always, but like consistently. We'll have some games where we do and some games where we don't. So yeah, like it's just.
Listen, at the end of the day,
Chelsea,
we'll see what.
Keeping it dramatic, man.
At the end of the day, man, we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully on Sunday, you guys are happy. I'm gonna be like very tipsy when I come onto the stream on Sunday. I'm fairly certain of that. So listen, I'm fairly certain that's what's gonna happen. So if we win, I'm gonna be laughing. If we're losing, I'm gonna be laughing. So the game's the game.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to say is, if we don't make the Champions League this season, shout out to Chelsea 2026 Europa League winners, because we have fucking Man United and Tottenham Hotspurs in a final. And both of these men are, once again, let's reiterate this, people. One is 14th, tied with, is 1 point away from Everton, which is in 15th. So we're dealing with 2 people who are 15th and 16th, basically, in the league, who beat Bilbao 3-0. So if these men can reach a final and one of them is going to win it, I am not worried about 2027 Chelsea being a champion.
Do you know how much of an indictment it is that, the Spanish league, that, the 14th and 15th place team, by the way, are currently in the European League. Yeah, right. And you're like the 5th or something like this in the league. You know how much of an indictment that is to your league?
I can't lie.
But doesn't this give you confidence about Real Betis then? Because Betis is below them and they're getting the hype job.
I mean, listen again. I said this. What I've said before, CP, is that listen, we should be beating Betis 9 times out of 10. The worry for me is that we show up in that 1 out of 10 time. You know what I mean? Where we decide to not take it, or we still decide to not take it seriously like we've been doing. That's my only worry.
No, I think we know. What we've been doing the past 2 times is taking the first leg seriously, gotten the lead, and then don't give a shit the second leg. But since the one-off, we'll take it seriously.
Spurs, by the way.
There's no way. Let me look at this.
Spurs is
no. I would never let Spurs win anything in their lives.
I don't care, man. Like, I'll be real. As time has gone on, do you know what it is with Spurs? They're just kind of like a pest. Like, I don't really care for them that much. Like, let them win.
I want
Like,
them to win, man. I want Spurs to win their trophy. I'll be honest, man.
yeah, let them win, bro. Like, it's not like they're winning something big. They're just winning the Europa League. Honestly, it'd be funny as fuck, considering how they...
You guys not know how obnoxious that fan... You think Jacob is going to be a parade?
I feel bad for Jacob. He's lost so much this season.
Yeah, let Jacob have a little bit of, like, happiness. Same with
give him something, man.
Yeah, like, and also...
He needs some milk, man. He needs some milk.
Do you know why? It's because... There's the crash out from other fans. Like, number one, Arsenal fans would be funny as fuck. I tell you, to Tottenham in the final. Number two is like the crash out. Thing is, you say that, by the way, in terms of the Tottenham fans, but there'll still be a crash out from Tottenham fans because Angel have won a trophy. There'll still be a crash out because Angel have won a trophy. He will be vindicated.
No, the crash out will be 2 days. The parade will be the entire season because once again, they won a trophy in 2008, which was this is going to be the biggest trophy since 1966 or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
The other crash out that will happen is Arsenal fans. Can you imagine? I saw a gal tweet this. Can you imagine Tottenham win the Europa League? We win the Conference League. You got City or Palace winning the FA Cup, Newcastle Carabao Cup, and Liverpool League, and they get knocked out of Champions League by
and the trophy list. Yeah,
bro, that would be unreal. The crash out from Arsenal fans would be unbelievable.
Bro,
but that's why. But honestly, what I was going to say with there was two things I was going to say on the Europa League thing with United, specifically. Number one, actually, I can't remember the first point I was going to make. The other point I was going to make is you talk about it being a damning indictment on La Liga, bro. It's a damning indictment on the Premier League. Go and look at the potential Champions League teams or English teams are going to be in the Champions League next season. Outside Liverpool, it is pathetic.
Yeah,
it is genuinely pathetic the level of team that England is going to be offering next season in the Champions League.
I mean that's fair. But
bro, it's pathetic. Like, it's a disgrace.
No. I did like what you were saying is fair. I don't disagree with that. But I'm just making. I also just think it's kind of bad that. The mid-table.
Yeah, no, it's terrible, bro. Football.
No, not even mid-table. They're almost relegation fodder club.
Football is in the bin.
Bro, we are all-time low football-wise, bro. Not just in the like for me, it's just like what happened to I was hoping the Spanish guys would do the job. Like,
I remember the other point I was going to make. Do you know how?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
I was going to say, do you know how infuriating it will be for me? By the way, if we miss out on the Champions League and this United team make it again. Man. If this United team is playing in the Champions League again and we're not, I'm gonna be fucking livid, bro. I'm gonna be livid.
It's just for me, this is for me, Marshall. Like we talk about a lot of stuff, and we look at a lot of stuff we're just mentioning. It's just, guys, Chelsea. If I was in the fucking what's it called, the changing room, before the Liverpool game, I was told, British Nation, you can give this.
The speech. Okay.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Full screen me. Yeah, full screen me.
Okay.
Chelsea Football Club. Yeah, you have one more opportunity, big man. You know what I mean? You have it all in your hands. Unironically, yeah. Go the fuck out there, yeah, and make sure, yeah, you are playing Champions League football. Yeah, are you? Otherwise, yeah, you are just some random scrubs. You know what I mean? You don't even deserve to be here, bro. Are you Champions League worthy or not? Do that today, against Liverpool. Yeah, win that fucking game. Do it by any means necessary, yeah, and make sure, yeah, we get that 1-0 or that whatever nil we need to make it happen. All right, win the fucking game, boys. That's it.
I'm inspired. I'm inspired by Emo Amen.
It was actually not bad.
The fan hitting the hair. You know what I'm saying? Emo
Motivation Nation. That's a new name. That's a new channel name now.
Motivation Nation. Jesus. But yeah, no, like Jay Allen. By the way, I don't care about Football Heritage. Football Heritage died this season when Real Madrid lost to Arsenal.
That's actually true.
You need to realize, I always say, Football Heritage, usually lasts between a 15 to 20 year period. I actually have been thinking about a lot more recently, right? The Football Heritage stuff, it lasts for a good amount of time. It's once that passes you, though, the Football Heritage era passes you, then the downfall happens, bro. You know what I mean? Clubs usually get into some level of luck, by the way. I've realized this too. They have some level of luck with them for a good period of time. You look at Real Madrid, you look at Barcelona, they've had a lot of luck with them for a good period of time. But then they go through their drought period where they go years on years where their luck is just in the mud, bro. So look at United, for example. United have had 26 years, of amazing luck under Ferguson. The last 13 years, look at this. They're now halfway through 13 years now without him.
JC, they won the JC. They've won the Carabao Cup. They've won the FA Cup, and if they could be winning the Europa League. That's just the three past. I'm not even talking about before when they've already won the Europa League. Yeah, I'm not even talking about before when they've won the Europa.
Yeah, but for me, the trophies you're mentioning, like what's it called? Yeah, BT trophies. That's the best way I would probably put it. Right? Mm-hmm. They've never been able to get the A tier, the S tier trophies. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Looking at these fixtures in the Europa League, though, I think United are basically on to the next round.
Both teams are free, bro.
Okay, hold on. I don't know about Tottenham.
No,
because
it's only 3-1. No, it's Bodo Glimt. I don't give
it's Bodo Glimt.
But it's Tottenham.
Back at Spurs. Yeah, but it's back at Spurs. They've gone to a Champions League final. We can say they can bottle the Champions League. They just
won it at home today, 3-1.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they're still
They won 3-1.
Yeah, they're going to
Marshall. We just saw Tottenham beat a better team in Frankfurt.
Okay, fair enough. All right, fair enough.
Like, I don't even necessarily think Tottenham will win that game. They don't have to. They could draw that game and go through.
Who did Bodo Glimt beat?
You know what it is, Marshall? I believe, man. That's
true. Because if Bodo Glimt get 2 goals at home, go to penalties again. Like, I don't know. It's just...
Wow, Aya.
It could happen. It could happen.
Listen, I just want people to know, man. Listen, listen. You know, I'm very negative in general when it comes to Chelsea stuff, but listen, we now have an opportunity where I feel like the odds are now more than 50% if we play our cards right. And I'm listen. I'm giving my heart again to the football club, to get something done. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I'm giving you my heart again. Don't break my heart again, man. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. That's what I asked for, man. Please.
No, break his heart, man.
Don't break my heart again, man. You know what I mean? People really feel like, I just think in general, a lot of us love to be negative for negative's sake. It's not that we
There's a lot of that out there.
Yeah, it's for some people that is the natural thing. If you ask the average person, that it's in my life, that's not in this football space, they will tell you I'm the most positive guy they already know, right? So I'm always positive. I always try to be positive about the football club, but the problem is they don't give me that, bro. You know what I mean? A lot of the time when you're reading stuff, seeing stuff like that, bro, it's very hard to be positive. That's what I'll say. But listen, now we've got a chance to do it, bro. Now we've got a chance to do it. Please, Chelsea, just get it done.
I'm just saying, if we end up getting Champions League, I remember you guys in chat that call me deluded. I remember. I will go back to the fucking streams. I remember the exact stream that people crashed out on me for what I thought was going to happen at the end of the season. You better hope. You better hope we don't, for your sake.
Can you just pick up Ray Allen's point? Yes, I was negative on the season after December because we weren't playing good. Why would I be positive on that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. I was positive for a lot of the season, bro. I was hoping we would be solidifying second place at one point in time. If you forget that. Yeah. But hey, if I speak, I'm in big trouble.
I was reserved for most of the season. We'll say that.
But I just think for me, listen, I'd always said this season had to be the top 4 season. You get top 4, next season after was meant to be the competing season, right? That's what it should have been. That's what, and if we do that, we meet our expectations, bro. We get that, and then you get the Conference League always just has to be a guaranteed, right? And then we keep it pushing. I would have ideally liked the FA Cup or Carabao Cup as well in there as a sprinkler. I'm pretty sure a lot of us here would agree that we probably wanted the FA Cup or Carabao Cup as well.
Yes.
Right? But listen, as long as we get the main objective and then the side objective, I think that's a solid season that you push up on and you improve upon the team next season. Even though I know some of the signings that I'm hearing may not do that.
This needs to stop. Getting UCL over Forest and Newcastle isn't a flex. Spurs and United are sitting below 13th. This is the easiest chance to... No. Stop this.
No one cares if it's a flex or not, bro.
This.
You just gotta get
Yeah,
some
no one's
This is
flexing
belittling it once again. Like it's not even that. It's like everyone wants to talk about how the league has dropped down in quality and shit like that and whatever. I disagree with that notion. Why? I mentioned it before. I think more clubs have money than they ever did before. I think another factor too is that more clubs, these clubs that have money, are now less inclined to sell their best players like we used to do back when it was just the big 6 days and United would buy the best player from Wigan or this and that. Arsenal would buy the best player off of this team, Crystal Palace, and so on and so forth. Now, most of the teams across the Premier League have a decent player. You know, look at Cunha for Wolves. Like, that guy's been carrying that team.
Yeah, you can go for 65 million. If they want to sell it, they're going to go for big money unless there's like a pre-contract, like with the Man City situation where Delap is going for 30 million, and that's what happened with McAllister too. But that's like a needle in a haystack situation.
No,
where
what I mean is, Lumi, is that a lot of you guys in chat call me deluded for even believing that we could even make Champions League. When I told you there is a way, realistically, we can do it. Like we've watched the Premier League this season. The teams have been up and down. There's been no team that has been completely dominant other than Liverpool this season because it's a competitive season.
If I won't like if we do get, I won't say Champions League because if we get 5th, I do not think Marshall, you have any right to like flex or say you were right or any nonsense. But if we finish like 3rd or above, then yeah, I think not 3rd. If we finish 3rd, we can't finish above. If we finish 3rd, no, it's not. If we finish 3rd. Then yeah, I think that Marshall has every right to like rub it in people's faces about not necessarily about us getting top 4 or getting Champions League.
I just want to hear people tell me deluded when I was saying it's realistic. We could potentially.
But yeah, like if we get 3rd, then cool, you can do that. If we get 5th, then no. But like I think he's well within his right to do that. From it, not for reflecting us getting Champions League, but just like people doubted him. He was right.
Yeah, he was right.
I didn't say top 3 is dead. I think it is, but I said top 2 is dead. We're not catching
Top
Arsenal.
2 is definitely we're not catching Arsenal. Yeah. But we could somehow slip into 3rd if things work out that way. I don't think
I think we'd have to win every game or at least 3 out of 4.
Exactly.
One thing I will say though, if I just think for me, guys, we need to realize the state that we're in right now. Yeah, I think you just want to make sure we can get in a position where hopefully, getting Champions League means these guys will.
Yes, they will.
Try to spend more money, right?
They kind of
that's what those guys. Right. Spend more money, get some stuff on, and like improve the squad of like actual experienced players, right? That's the only hope I have, maybe of them, improving the model with whatever experience that maybe some people are asking for, right? So, in order for that to happen, we need to get UCL football. So for me, it's just about trying to make that happen.
Lumi, hate to break it to you, in previous seasons, Chelsea have gotten UCL football doing the same fucking thing.
Osama did it that way, by the way. Osama, everyone's favorite guy, did it like that.
Literally, we got UCL football. Actually, let's be honest. We got UCL football the season we won the UCL.
Season before.
Because we won the UCL.
No, don't do that. Stop it.
But no. But if we didn't win the UCL. We got UCL football because Leicester fumbled and Tottenham bailed us out.
Yes.
So let's not pretend that Chelsea won their way to UCL football too. Yes. And then the second season of Tuchel, that tail end of the season, we had a good gap to keep us in UCL football that diminished really quickly once the players checked out of UCL and we got knocked out by Real Madrid.
And you legit have to thank Mason Minerals Mountain, for us beating the UCL the season before because of the Wolves game. Remember the Wolves game? We had to win. And he put Top Ben's free kick got us the UCL. Listen,
you
can say fuck him, but he's the one that did the job.
I'm just saying,
Marshall, you're not wrong though, because the year we did win the UCL, which was 2012, 11, sorry.
2021.
No, I'm talking about the first time, boys.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were 7th. We won the UCL. That's why we freaking went to the next season, because we won the UCL, people. We kicked Spurs out.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree, by the way, Lumi. I agree. I expected them to finish comfortably in top 5.
A lot of us
Doesn't
are expecting
work
that
out
to happen, but it's not our fault. These guys are tactically inept.
But listen, the one thing I kept saying is
That's
that
not true.
what exactly
true.
is stopping Chelsea from going back to the form they went to last season? Now, I'm not saying we're back to that form, but the performances have gotten better since before the international break. Like, there's been improvements in the performance where I wasn't expecting the performances to get better. At that point, I was just hoping we just get the result. Fuck the performance. We could play like shit. Just give me the 1-0s. Give me the results because the goals weren't coming in. Now, in recent times, the goals have kind of been coming in now, and the chances have been being created. I'm just saying, I've always said this from the beginning. I kept it consistent. There's nothing really stopping. There's nothing to tell me that Chelsea can't go back to the form that they were in previously. But people were telling me like, no, it's impossible. They can't go back to that form. We're shit. We're going to stay shit. We'll see what happens against Liverpool. You know, that's a big indicator whether or not the performances are back or not, really. If Jackson's back to his confident self, if Palmer's going to step up, so on and so forth. If Nani's going to continue to be, because this is one thing I should point out. This is 2 good games for Nani in a row, in my opinion. Last game, playing off the left. This game, I think he had a good performance as well. Maybe he's going into a run of form where he can be more consistent. Jadon Sancho also, another one that, you know, whether you like him or not, he's also kind of stepped up too. Enzo Fernandez, the last 3 games, 4 assists. So, and we're not relying on Cucurella as much as we did, but Cucurella is also getting involved in that. We've been keeping, defensively, we've been keeping less goals in. Like, there's stuff there. There's stuff there. And Lavia's back as well. No coincidence that when Lavia comes back, we had the performance we had against Everton, where we just dominated. And that's an Everton side that Arsenal dropped points to, that Liverpool struggled against, that there's other teams that struggled against as well. It's not an easy side to score against. But, you know, we'll see. I will reserve my judgment until the end of the season.
Come on, Chelsea, man. Come on, Chelsea, man.
And,
come on, Chelsea.
yeah.
That's all we've got to say, man. All we've got to say, lads, is come on, Chelsea. And I mean, that's it. Let's make it happen, man. Let's make it happen. If you need to pray to Satan, pray to Satan. Pray to whoever needs to. Pray to.
That's a religious man saying that, people.
Listen, I'm not a religious guy, firstly, so I just want people to know that.
Oh, you're Muslim.
So, listen, I'm not religious, as I said many a time before in the stream. So,
Listen,
yeah, so yes.
We'll talk backstage.
We'll talk backstage. Yes. Listen, listen. Talk backstage. Listen. I've said this before, man.
Okay.
Listen, as I've said many times before. Pray to Satan. Pray to Yahweh, Allah, God. You know what I mean? I'm not sure what they call it.
Yeah,
in
we're
Hinduism.
doing people's
You
lives
know what I
now,
mean?
okay.
You know what I mean? I don't even. You know what I mean?
It's late for getting UCL.
Listen, you know what I mean? Listen, I usually use RSM's life. Usually on RSM's life, we gotta get UCL. But like, listen, on whoever's life you feel is valuable enough for the UCL title, make it happen, man. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Let's see what happens, boys. But we'll be back again for. Let's see. We're Thursday.
I can tell you right now for sure, Matt. I have 0% in my bloodstream right now. 0%.
Yeah.
It's too hot for this. It's too hot.
On Sunday, it's not going to be 0%.
It's high on the natural.
On Sunday,
highs
it
of
might
life.
be 60%. I'll be honest, or 70%.
Bloody hell.
I'll be honest.
But Sunday we will be here to review the game. Unfortunately, no Casually Chelsea show on Saturday because I will be busy. Maybe I'll do a pre-record or something. But yeah, guys.
I'm gonna do a preview.
He doesn't like you enough.
Actually, I can't do a preview. I'm watching Thunderbolt, so I actually can't do a preview. I'm watching it at 9:30.
Well, you can let us know how good the movie is.
Listen, I'm watching. I'm doing so I can't do even a preview. I might do. You know what?
No, don't let me know how good it is. I want to search for
Tomorrow evening, I'll do a Liverpool preview for tomorrow evening.
There you go. You guys can watch that on the Bridge Nation, obviously link down below, and a bunch of other links down below for you guys to check out for more content, all that fun stuff. If you can't find everything you need in this channel, which I'm sure there's plenty of other channels
watching the
to
Detroit
watch.
game, Joe.
But what I will say, guys, on that note, we will be back on Sunday for the Liverpool game, and yeah, it should be. Hopefully, it's a good review. Hopefully, we can talk about positives and not too many negatives. But on that note, We're gonna call it right here, ladies and gents.
Chook it out.
Appreciate every single one of you for watching. We are going to raid out to Sarcasm City. So copy and paste that raid message. Let the boys know where you're coming from. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. If you're a returning viewer and haven't subscribed, by all means, there's 50% of you guys that do watch that aren't subscribed. Subscribe. You might as well. You're watching the channel. You're coming back here all the time, watching my takes. Some of you guys a little weird, just time stamping every single thing that you can use as your agenda. By all means, go ahead. You're giving me watch time. I appreciate it.
Agendas need to agenda. Come on, lads.
Agendas need to agenda. That's fine. There's always going to be those weird ones. But yeah, smash up the like if you haven't done so already. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Even if you don't want to subscribe, at least smash up the like so that it helps out with the channel and getting the word spread that it is here on YouTube. Because it has been rough in these past few months in terms of growth, because people have been checking out. But hey, if Chelsea make top UCL and we win a trophy, maybe people come back.
And also, guys, I just want to let you know. And listen, man, every penny helps.
Fair weather fans, you know.
Every penny helps, man. Come on, man. Listen.
Everything helps. And you know what? Big up to those guys who are members who do help out tremendously as well. We do have 4 different tiers of membership starting at 99p. And if you are a proper casual and higher tiered member, I do give shout outs to you guys at the end of every show. And that's going to go out to Daniel, TM127, EE, Dark, Adrian, and A. Solomon. Big up to you guys who have been a big help. And big up to everyone else who's a member as well. Don't forget, you do have emojis you can use in the chat. We will update those sooner rather than later, hopefully. And yeah, you can have fun with those. But yeah, rating out to Sarcasm City. We'll see you guys again on Sunday. Have a wonderful night. Tuchel in. And as always,
Lampard in.
no, as always, stay casual. See you Sunday.
Lampard in.